What do you have in store? One life away we can't explore, but I don't wanna get in the way no more, cause it's the type of feeling you can't ignore. I'm ready to break down the door, settle the score, I can't let you go. I'm just a smile on your face, you know that I love the chase. You told me once that I was crazy, I said baby girl I know, but I can't let you go away, so don't you get me started now. I want a yes, I don't want maybes, cause they leave me where you found me, so don't leave. What do you have in store? One night's away, we can't explore. Got me feeling, wait no more, we feel you can't ignore it. I'm ready to break down the door, settle the score, can't let you go away. Smile on your face, la 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 la, chase. Told me once that I was crazy, I said baby girl I know, but I can't let you go away, so don't you get me started now. I want a yes, I don't want babies, cause they leave me where you found me, so don't fear. What do you have in store? Type of girl that made me drop dead on the floor. This the only girl that I love and adore. This the type of love that you can't ignore. Say hey, she coming my way, she run around saying whatever she wanna say. I told her I don't wanna have to do this every day. I told her that I love her, but she thinking it's a game. Oh no, now she uncomfortable. Never wanna make it for one dimensional. Oh yeah, oh nah nah nah. Don't know how we got here, don't you get me started now. You told me once that I was crazy, I said baby girl I know, but I can't let you go away, so don't you get me started now. I want a yes, I don't want maybes, cause they leave me where you found me, so don't flee. What do you have in store? Type of girl that made me drop dead on the floor. It's the only girl that I love and adore. It's the type of love that you can't ignore. Say hey, she coming my way, she run around saying whatever she wanna say. I told her I don't wanna do this every day. I told her that I love her, she thinking it's a game. Oh no, now she uncomfortable. Never wanna make it for one dimensional. Oh yeah, oh la la la. You know how we got here, don't you get me started now. She told me once that I was crazy, I said baby girl I know. control. Every time we leave in the dust, you don't make me easy. Wish I could be there. I think your love would be true. once in a day. Still listens to Coldplay. Calendar on the door says 2024. Can't afford his own land or all his streaming plans. He was gonna be a skater, he was gonna be a punk, he was gonna go on Cribs and show off all his junk. His countless DVDs are now the enemy. Looks at his current life and nothing has been alright since Green Day, Nickelback. Way before Doja Cat there was Akon, 50 Cent, Mike Myers, and that Kanye clip with cameras and tripods. He still uses an iPod, cause he's still preoccupied. 2005. He's seen all the classics, he knows every script. King Kong, Goblet of Fire, and Revenge of the Sith. He rocked out to T.I., not a big Ed Sheeran guy. He knows every word when hearing Mr. Brightside. Where's Guitar Hero, Tramp Stamps and Tribals? Where did the winners go of American Idol? When did YouTube get advertisements? Whatever happened to flip phones, flash games on the radio? Green Day, Nickelback. Way before Doja Cat there was Akon, 50 Cent, Mike Myers, and that Kanye clip with cameras and tripods. He still uses an iPod, cause he's still preoccupied. 2005. Make it stop. When did Weezer become alternative pop? Still wears a shirt that says vote for Pedro. Please make this stop, stop, stop. And bring back Green Day, Nickelback. Way before Doja Cat there was Akon, 50 Cent, Mike Myers, and that Kanye clip with cameras and tripods. He still uses an iPod, cause he's still preoccupied. 2005. Green Day, Nickelback. Way before Doja Cat there was Akon, 50 Cent, Mike Myers, and that Kanye clip with cameras and tripods. He still uses an iPod, cause he's still preoccupied. 2005.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a brand new episode of Nerdy Live. It has been a while. Okay, the last show I was able to do, okay, I made fun of a fat cancer patient with nothing going on in his life other than the 20-year-old that he kidnapped when she was probably just a child. Oh my god, okay, yeah, it's been 2 weeks since we've been able to do a show. How is everyone doing today, okay? Listen, this is brand new and improved Nerdy Live. Okay, we got Jacob Purple Paw Prince. We got K-Huck in chat. We also have Nintendo Mail, Seth, Shanri. How you guys doing today? Okay, I hope you all are doing well, doing swell. We're back in the swing of things. But first off, okay, I have to rant about something real quick. Okay, I have to rant and rave because talentless hacks are making stuff. Okay, and that's never changed, right? There's always been talentless hacks, okay? But we have extra special, like straight off the short bus special talent right here, okay? Yellow Flash, who basically, like, imagine if the quartering was, like, too afraid to show his face, right? Imagine all of the quartering's opinions on, like, black people, trans people, and gay people, okay? And you transfer that to someone who is like an anime fan. Basically, this is it, okay? Yellow Flash is one of the notorious grifters of the internet space. And he's teamed up with the Rippaverse, who some of you may know is a company that is run by Eric July, and another notorious grifter who's like, yeah, man, so like the black people, the black people shouldn't be in, the black people shouldn't be Spider-Man. That's basically Eric July's opinion, right? Because like, you know, surface level, you kind of have to agree with him, right? Yeah, like other than taking well-established superheroes and just making them black, there should be strong original black superheroes, right? Right, and on surface level, I have to agree with him, right? But then his writing absolutely sucks. The art that he uses for his comic sucks. What's the story of Isom? I don't know. Neither does Eric July. All he does is spews like, well, you see, we got like 40,000 pre-orders, right? So he's making money, and making money, that means it's successful. It's a successful comic book because I make money off of it. You see. And so Yellow Flash has decided to partner up because Yellow Flash is one of the let's say he enjoys gobbling on that Eric July BBC. You know what I'm saying? That's the one black man that Yellow Flash absolutely loves. Because of the black guy who agrees with all of Yellow Flash's opinions. And look at this fucking comic book cover right here, and look at Yellow Flash's character. This is just his fucking OC. This is all it is. This is just his fucking OC. That's all it fucking is. And guess what? Okay, you'll notice it says the Mighty Golden Patriot. You want to know why it says the Mighty Golden Patriot? It's because, well, a friend of the show, Tyrone, looked it up, and it turns out the Golden Patriot is a brand of electric scooters for fat and old people. So they, in order to avoid another ISOM controversy, they had to change it to the Mighty Golden Patriot. And like, fucking look at this, fucking Power Rangers ass looking. I'm sorry, this design kind of sucks. It just looks like he had someone redesign his OC. That's all it is. Like, hey man, can you like this is Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash is just like, hey man, can you like redesign my OC? I'm gonna use it for a comic book. John, the release one issue a year for ISOM. I know, right? It has to be good if they release it for one once a year. I read Isom and I don't know what it's about, John. You see, we got someone who bought the book, and he doesn't even know what the fuck it's about. Okay, to be fair to him, neither does Eric July. Again, Eric July makes a comic book, doesn't know what the fuck it's about yet. But I digress on all that. Because, guys, well, guys, something I'm happy. I'm so happy to announce. Give me one moment. I am so happy to announce this, guys. The one, the only, the chaser himself, Tipster, is back to making content. Okay, not just the Resident Evil bullshit that he was making. No, he's making actual content again, guys. You'll love it. You'll love to see it because guess what, guys? Tipster, okay, he's no longer, your stereotypical, like, commentary channel, okay? He's risen above that, okay? He's ascended to a higher level than some of us commentary creators, okay? He is a political content creator now. That's right, guys. Tipster has risen to the levels of Vosh, Destiny, and Xanderhal, and the artists formerly known as Keffels, okay? He has risen to their levels, and now he makes political content. I mean, this is an election year, guys. We have to remember that. This is an election year, and we have to make sure that the correct person wins, and Tipster is gonna make sure about that. He's gonna do a great job about that. I mean, look at the amazing content he's making right now. Let's see, J.K. Rowling deleting tweets, Charles Kirk spotted and owned by the president of the Young Dems of Georgia. Ooh. Then we also got Matt Walsh spotted trying to sneak into the DNCA with ridiculous disguise. Guys, can you smell how good the content's gonna be? The content's so good. I don't know if I should rob you guys of the experience of watching Tipster yourself. Because, like, why would I be the one to do that? You know, and look at this. We have amazing stuff now. Like, Tipster just straight up watching CNN. Like look at that golden content. Look at that golden content right there. Look at that, okay? How else are you going to get your political opinion unless you watch Tipster? I mean, come on, it just makes sense, okay? Tipster, he watches CNN and he goes, "Yeah, man, that's like really bad for trans people, right?" And now you know it's bad for trans people because Tipster said so. Tipster's the guy, man. Tipster's gonna be the guy everyone gets their political opinions from, okay? You know how, like, there are Destiny orbiters? We're gonna get Tipster orbiters soon enough, guys, okay? With all the goth mommies he still has surrounding him, you know they're gonna get deep political insight from him. And, you know, maybe with this, okay? Because remember, guys, you know, say what you want about Destiny. You can't deny the man slays with poontang, right? Maybe Tipster can finally get what his wife's been denying him for years now, right? Maybe he can finally get laid. It would be amazing, right? Because, like, think about it, right? His wife's disabled. You know, there's not much you can do for him. God, why do you think he's been posting about, like, wanting goth mommies, being a Latina pimp? Well, why do you think he's been posting about that, guys? It's because, you know, he's just not getting any from his wife. You know, I don't blame him. And, you know, he doesn't want to look like the bad guy for divorcing her. You know? Because, like, how do you think that's going to sound in the papers, right? Known streamer Tipster divorces disabled wife. Says she doesn't give me enough, you know? Think about it. Like, that's not a headline you want. That's not a PR move you want. Much like being associated with drama channels, okay? You don't want to be associated with those again. And this is Tipster when someone brings up drama.
What makes you think that politics is drama?
This motherfucker can't be serious, right? This motherfucker can't be serious. Yo, like, what? Why do you think of drama when, like, you think of, like, political streamers, man? I mean, come on, we're intellectuals over here, okay? It's not YouTube, it's not Twitch drama, okay? I'm Tipster. I should know, okay? I ran a shitty drama channel for 4 years, okay? I know what drama looks like. That's Tipster right now. That's Tipster.
It's fucking that's like the weirdest thing ever. Is like you're one of like a handful of chatters who showed up in my chat like, "Yo, you cover drama again?" No, I don't.
Yeah, guys, this is totally different. Totally different. This is totally different drama. This is totally different, guys, okay? Him talking about how Matt Walsh, you know, was sneaking into DNC and, you know, presumably probably making fun of him for it is totally different from him, like, making fun of Susie Liu. It's totally different, guys, because Matt Walsh is a Nazi, okay? That's, you know, I can't argue with the tip's logic, okay, guys? Listen, okay? Nothing but the tip for your political news. Hashtag nothing but the tip for your political news, okay? Again, how else am I gonna know what to think about politics unless Tipster tells me so? Oh.
What the fuck? Jeez. Anyway, let's continue. Got another topic, and then after that, I'm not sure. I use the term drama a little loosely in this case. Well, yeah, we don't cover drama. Basically, what I do,
guys, okay, we don't cover internet drama. Again, guys, okay, you know what, Nerdy John, you know, the Nerdy Live show, we don't cover YouTube drama anymore. Okay, that's what despite the fact that we're making fun of people still, we don't cover internet drama. That's just not the show anymore. Okay? Listen, guys, if you don't support this new direction that Nerdy Live is going, okay, then you're bigots. That's what you are.
is like, I like doing like gaming related content still, so I want to do like a little bit of gaming.
Oh yeah, like a couple of days before he started doing the slop like topic content again, he was still saying, guys, like I love doing Resident Evil content. I love it so much, guys. I love it, you know. So what if I only get like 5 viewers? It's amazing. I don't know why I went for a high-pitched voice there. But like tips are like, yo man, I love the Resident Evil content. I love getting 100 views on a 100K channel. I absolutely love it. Like, this is what I don't fucking get, you stupid ass motherfucker. Is you want to do gaming content, but you're doing it on an absolutely dead channel, and you're surprised that you're not getting any traction, right? And Tipster is going the route of like he's dumping gaming VODs and highlights on his second channel, which is Tipster Gaming, right? Which, even to that extent though, the people who subscribe to that channel were, the vast majority of them, were the drama content lovers, right? So Tipster, the point being, the name Tipster is fucking, it's the Voldemort of the internet, okay? When I type in Tipster on YouTube, I still get like 10 exposed videos on this lame ass motherfucker before his channel even pops up. You might as well like not even rebrand the channel. Just start a completely separate channel, completely remove the Tipster moniker, and maybe just do like voiceover. Don't even do face cam for that shit. So that way you have like the minuscule of a chance of that channel succeeding. I mean, better to get a divorce than getting called the P word and do weird shit on the internet. Nah, you see, Tipster can't give that up, okay? You listen, whenever there's a Vosh that needs defending, Tipster's got to go in his corner, okay? Why do I get the feeling he's going to be begging to come back to Nah. It's too late for that. No one's going to accept him. No. Nintendo Mail, no. He's not going to do that. No. It's too late for him. It's too late. If he does go back to doing drama content, it's going to be like, he's not going to call himself a commentary channel. It's just going to be, yeah, I do like these topics, you know.
Related content sprinkled in what I do, but also like I'm enjoying covering politics again, like progressive politics. And so I'm going to continue doing that as well. That's why if you look at like when I made some of my old videos public again, a lot of the stuff, that I made public again, was they're all like political topics, but I left all the old drama stuff private because I don't have any interest in being
you also have no interest in your channel succeeding. This motherfucker nukes his channel constantly fucking nukes his channel, and he's fucking wondering why he's never going to succeed again in terms of being a streamer. Would you believe it if I told you guys that at one point he would have anywhere from 700 to 1K concurrent viewers? You wouldn't believe me if I told you that, because he gets like 50 if he's lucky now.
Community or creating that kind of content anymore. I just got an ad as you responded to the other question. Oh shit. What was the other question? I'm sorry. I'm not getting back into drama.
Guys, totally I'm not getting back into drama. Totally not. No. Tipster would never do such a thing like that. Okay, anyone who says otherwise, again, you're a bigot. Simple as that. You're a bigot, you're a meanie, and a stinky poo-poo head, as Tipster would put it, right? Because Tipster, he's not a toxic guy anymore. Everyone wants him to be a toxic guy. He's not a toxic guy. You know, and I really wish people would give Tipster the recognition he deserves. So, another thing that happened while I was gone is, for some of you may be familiar with Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd, okay? And there's only room for one nerd in this space, which is why I had the lead singer for Falling in Reverse sue him. According to the documents obtained by Rockfeed, Falling in Reverse frontman Ronnie Radkick, I butcher his last name all the time, so I'm just gonna call him Ronnie. He go Ronnie. Has filed a defamation lawsuit against music critic Anthony Fantano, The lawsuit, filed on August 20th in Los Angeles County Superior Court, centers on a video Fantano released in August 2023 titled "This Guy Sucks." Ronnie's attorney asserts that the video exceeds the bounds of permissible commentary and ventures into actionable, unfounded rumors and outright falsehoods. Ronnie is pursuing damages and requests a jury trial. Jury trial for a fucking defamation case? You stupid ass motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? Like guys, okay, look at this guy. Like, look at fucking Anthony Fantano. Okay, me and fucking Anthony Fantano, man, we're rocking the same look now. Okay, glasses, a bald fucking head, and like some facial hair. Okay, me and fucking Anthony Fantano. Okay, I'm sure I got a few pounds more on him in the weight department, but basically me and him are fucking the same. Okay, imagine if some like fucking tattooed ass like a guy who portrays himself as like a hardcore rocker was just fucking like, this guy was mean to me on the internet, and he needs to be sued. He needs to be sued because he mean to me. like, yeah. What a way to show how hardcore of a fucking rocker you are by suing someone who's fucking mean to you online. Like, what the fuck? We have a video by Turkey Tom of covering the situation, so we're gonna watch that for a bit, and we're just gonna laugh at the situation, because again, we live in a timeline where even the fucking rock stars we have are fucking sensitive little pussies who fucking just can't handle it when someone doesn't fucking like their music, I guess.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Today, we're talking about a very special man on the internet, quite possibly the biggest living piece of trash in the world of rock music right now. That's Mr. Ronald Radke.
This man just said that I sexually assaulted someone, pretty much. He's implying that I did it.
Radke's lawyer says his client repeatedly asked Fantano to take the video down, but after refusing to do so, they feel they have no other choice but to file
Fantano's like, nah, I ain't doing that shit.
a suit.
You know what?
Oh, the meat candy animation.
Now at least it makes sense why it smells like dookie in here.
What's up, boys? Welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark. Got a new camera today, but that's not really important. What is important is that today we're going to be taking a look at a new lawsuit filed against the internet's busiest music nerd, Anthony Fantano. A guy who seems to have a habit of making famous music artists really, really mad. Fantano made this troll video where he claimed that
the Drake style. Oh, this was funny.
Drake slid into his messages to send him a vegan cookie recipe with what is clearly a doctored screenshot. But as it turns out, Drake did actually message him saying, "Your existence is a light one," and the one.
Oh no, yeah. Like, I guess people had heard about Drake supposedly messaging Fantano, and Fantano, rather than revealing the actual like contents of the messages, just decided to be an old school memer again for one final time. It's like, yo, he just sent me like this bomb ass recipe, and then I guess Drake couldn't handle the fact that like Drake couldn't handle the fact that people didn't think he was trash talking him, so he just revealed the messages and everyone fucking laughed at him.
One is because you're alive, and because you somehow married a black girl.
By the way, I don't fucking all of Drake's baby mamas are fucking white chicks, so I don't know. yo, cause somehow you married a black woman. Yeah, unlike you.
Feeling like a decent one on your existence. And the reason we know this is because Drake saw the video and decided to post these messages himself, which obviously led a lot of people to say, why the hell is the biggest rapper in the world messaging some YouTube music critic to like roast him in a very bad way? May I add, like, is Drake
like what a way to give legitimacy to your critics by like privately messaging them to shit talk them. You make fucking 100 times over whatever Anthony Fantano fucking makes on YouTube, right? Like, like this is what I love about current day celebrities, is that like they're sensitive ass fucking pussies. No matter how much fucking money they make, they're always going to be like, yo man, you can't be saying that my album is like a 4 out of 10, man. You can't be saying that, man. And you know what happened? What, a year or two later, Drake got into Kendrick beef. I'm just saying, Ronnie, watch your back. Kendrick might be coming after you, man. What if Kendrick Lamar and Ronnie get into a fucking like diss track war? I would love to see that so much.
Really that insecure that Fantano gave him a negative review on some album he made? The answer is probably yes. But if anything, what this does show is that Fantano is someone that musicians do take note of. He is, by default, the most popular music critic on YouTube, if not in the entire world, at least as far as like online personalities go. And another guy that Anthony has really ripped on over the past while, seemingly way more than Drake even, is Ronnie Radke, the lead singer of Falling in Reverse. Now, Ronnie is a guy with a whole history of controversies that I've covered before in a video on the Turkey Tom channel. He was originally in a popular scene or emo band called Escape the Fate, and while in that band he got himself into a brawl in the middle of the desert that resulted in one person dying and Ronnie getting probation, which he then violated, and as a result, it got him arrested again. Ronnie pled guilty to battery and was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Now keep in mind, Ronnie didn't kill anyone here. He wasn't, you know, the super violent party here that resulted in someone dying. He was just present for it, and the reason why he went to jail for 2.5 years was because he violated his probation. But once he was out of prison, he formed a new band called Falling in Reverse, a band that would be very successful, but he as a person would still be mired in controversy past that point. In 2012, Ronnie got arrested for not showing up to court hearings regarding his ex-girlfriend who had alleged domestic abuse. Sally Watts claimed that Radke pulled her hair, shoved her face in the ground, gave her a black eye, and she even posted a photo online as evidence of it happening. He was released on bail for 30 grand and eventually pled no contest to a lesser charge of disturbing the peace. So it appears that the domestic violence stuff didn't really go through. He wasn't convicted of that. So it's important to note here that Ronnie didn't plead guilty to anything relating to physically harming Sally, being indicative that there probably wasn't enough evidence to convict him. That same year, we also get the mic stand incident, where at one of his shows, he threw some mic
What the fuck is this?
stands into the crowd, with one girl getting hit in the head. He was charged with
What the fuck? What kind of fucking drugs was he on at the time? I tell you what, I would love to be on some of the drugs that these guys are on, because you know they got good plugs. You know they do. Holy shit.
simple assault for that, but he's since talked about the remorse he feels, and he's also claimed that he and the girl are on good terms and that she received a massive settlement from this happening.
I threw some mic stands into the crowd. Okay, I injured somebody. Stupid, right? Yeah, she got a cut. She got some stitches. She's not mad. She got $800,000 for it. She's not mad, guys.
Shit, if I got $800,000 for someone throwing shit at me, I would be ecstatic. I'd be like, throw that shit at me again. Throw that shit at me again, so that way I get more money. Yeah. That's it. All you have to do is just make sure you're in the front row of whatever like unhinged band or like singer is playing, and you just you dive bomb into like whatever shit they're throwing into, so that way you can claim injury. Hang on, guys. Okay, I'm gonna be gone for like another year, and then I'm just gonna rack up all this so that that way I can make the ultimate studio. Just give me a hot moment, okay?
Guys, you guys are mad, and she's not. You're stupid. You guys are fucking stupid.
Now, in 2015, he was accused of SA by a woman named Casey Boswell. And while it initially had a lot of people up in arms, details around the case revealed that there was really nothing for the supposed victim to stand on. She claimed that it happened on a tour bus, but that entire tour bus was then swabbed by the police, and there was no evidence of the allegations, and ultimately he was never arrested by the police. Now, at the time of this accusation, Ronnie's legal team compiled several defamatory statements by Casey and some of her friends online. She claimed that Ronnie was arrested, that he had to post bail, that there was a kit with the evidence, and that there were witnesses to her side of events, none of which appear to be true at all. So Ronnie ended up suing her for defamation, seeking $15 million. Although, as far as I've been able to find, there's only evidence of him getting $6 grand as a result of winning the lawsuit. But some
yeah, something tells me some broke ass No, something tells me, okay, you're gonna get millions of dollars from some random girl that you supposedly slept with, unless she was another big star, which it seems like she isn't. She's just some random girl you brought to your bus.
Some people still think he got a bit more, which maybe did happen, as he claimed on a TikTok that he got a lot more money than was documented.
Of course you get it wrong. You left this part out. The part where I sued them for millions of dollars and won. And since you didn't put allegedly after everything you said, I could also sue you for millions of dollars and win.
Now, the reason why I'm bringing up all of this is just to say there are a few things that Ronnie's done that definitely happened, like with the mic stand or that incident in the desert, but there's also a lot of misconceptions around these events. For example, people think that Ronnie killed someone in the desert and that he is a murderer, but that didn't happen. To this day, some people still believe that he assaulted Casey Boswell, but if you want to talk about evidence, it just doesn't seem to exist, and he ended up winning a defamation case against her, so I think we can probably say definitively that he's innocent in that case. I mean, you know, we gotta go with the innocent until proven guilty presumption here, right? As for his ex-girlfriend, Sally Watts, and her claims, you can choose to believe her if you want. I think the black eye picture is definitely disturbing, but as far as legal punishment, he wasn't convicted of doing anything, so really, what is there to say here? Maybe there's more evidence as to her claims that I haven't seen, but no one else has managed to compile it thus far. I haven't found it anywhere I've looked online, so as a result, you know, you gotta assume innocent until proven guilty in that case, I think. And as a result of a lot of misconceptions against Ronnie, he has a bit of a big chip on his shoulder, okay? Perhaps the biggest chip in the world of rock and roll, and he's been on a bit of a tear lately with his songs. Lately, instead of sounding like a rock artist, a lot of his tracks are sounding more like Tom McDonald. He's rapping about cancel culture a lot.
Oh god, what the fuck? He's screwed. Yeah, I haven't listened to a lot of his recent stuff recently. Although I will say it was funny as fuck when Melody, what was that chick's name? Melody Mac was crying because the album art for their newest stuff made fun of God. And it's like, yeah, he's a hard rock emo dude. Like you don't expect them to make fun of God? like they've been making fun of God and religion for a long time. You claim to be a fan, Melody Mac, but for some reason that this came as a shock to you.
In a few songs, one of them, and I gotta disclaim here, you know, I do like some of his music, especially the older stuff. I even don't mind some of the later rock stuff he's done, like you know, the song Zombified. The lyrics are corny as hell. Like in in the song, there's this part when he's like, "They're canceling you," and that is like crazy. That is crazy. That's not good. But I mean, the song is.
Who unironically fucking makes brain rot lyrics like that? Jesus Christ. Okay.
Itself is catchy, but more recently he put out this song that was like more of a Tom McDonald rap song. As I said earlier, he's going down that kind of route, and in the music video for it, he is like Jesus in the video. He's like on a cross.
Guys, I swear I don't have an ego. The ego.
It's a little crazy. But Ronnie is a contentious person for obvious reasons. He feels wronged by certain people who have spread misconceptions about him, and I think that's also fair. And he's got a really diehard fan base for his music, despite the fact that, you know, in some aspects he is a cringy person. Some of the things he's done are really bad, and there's also all these other claims that are not true at all. So it's just like the perfect storm of like bullshit, real shit, Ronnie being him. And on top of that, unfortunately, he's somewhat unable to handle people criticizing him. Y'all remember Brad Taste, okay?
Oh god, Brad Taze. This is gonna be funny. This is gonna be funny when we get to him.
Hey, you remember this guy? He's a whole can of worms in and of itself that I've covered recently, but for the purposes of today, we're just gonna call him a music reviewer. He sits on stream, he listens to an album in full while pausing to give his commentary and thoughts. He like listens to it, he's like, oh, this is fire. Oh, this is not fire. You know, he does that. And then he puts a more cut up version of it on YouTube to avoid copyright claims, because music stuff on YouTube covering it is really difficult to not get claimed by some label, and the label is obviously hard to fight. They're not quick usually to retract strikes. Even if you use like 1 second of their music, they're really annoying. So Brad cuts it up and puts it on YouTube so he can like make money off of his work. But one day Brad took notice of Ronnie Radke and decided to mock him for his music, just calling him a terrible cringe lord basically in a review of some of his stuff. Well, on August 16th 2023, hello, that's my birthday, Brad posted to his channel claiming that
happy birthday,
Ronnie had abused the copyright system to take down his videos that were critical critical of his music.
Just when you thought that Ronnie Radke couldn't be any worse of a human being, he's taken liberty and he's removed it from the internet. Now, of course, I still have it. I still have the folders, and I could easily just edit it and, you know, avoid all the copyright claims, which I might do. But I think it's more important to highlight that he did this, that he went through with this.
And this then started a huge flame war over on Twitter, wherein Brad would call Ronnie a terrible person, and the rest of the world would also chime in. And one of the people who...
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're abusing copyright to stop people from making fun of you, yeah, that's gonna happen. I don't know what to tell you there, Ronnie.
Chimed in was the most popular music channel.
And plus two, all you have to do in order to shut them up is just claim, just claim the video, so that way all the revenue goes to you. That's what music labels do anyway.
On YouTube,
starting beef with even me on Twitter at one point, and now most recently with Brad Taste in Music, hitting him up in DMs to relish in the fact that I guess Ronnie had some of Brad's videos taken down, which, man, he's really loving that. So sad, so fragile, so sensitive.
Now, at the time this went down, I actually made a video on this channel where I talked about all of this and said I didn't like that Ronnie was engaging in this behavior. Whether he personally filed this copyright claim or not, you know, I think to celebrate the censorship of criticism under the guise of, like, protecting...
especially if you're going down this art of like, guys, everyone's canceling me. People are canceling me because they don't like what I'm saying, right? If you truly believe that people are trying to silence you and your words, then what the fuck are you doing silencing other people? You see, this is the problem when it comes to people do this on both the right and the left, but like you see this a lot in like the grifter political space, is that people will cry censorship over a certain thing, right? But then they'll advocate for the censorship of their political opponent. And this happens a lot of time with YouTubers in general, like Susie Liu, Quantum TV, several other examples that people I'm sure can think have popped in their head. But this is just ridiculous coming from this dude, especially when he's like, everyone's trying to silence me, cancel me.
Intellectual property when Brad didn't really violate his stuff is really dumb, in my opinion. And at the time, Ronnie actually messaged me about this on Instagram, which is funny. Like, why is Ronnie Radke messaging me?
Dude, what if I cut this up, right, and Ronnie messages me? Be like, yo, Ronnie, Ronnie, if you're watching this, brother, hook me up with some free tickets, man. Hook me up with some free tickets. Throw a mic stand at me. You know, we can get this whole thing solved.
I do not know. I'm a YouTuber. He is a famous rock artist. There's no reason to do that. But he messaged me basically and was like, look, Tom, I haven't seen your video. But he said that if what I was saying in the video was that he had taken down Brad's video actively, then I needed to correct the record, because in his words, he was only cheering on what the label had done. He himself did not actually get the video taken down and like file the strike.
I mean, that's still fucked though, if you're cheering that your label takes down videos criticizing you.
Which, you know, I guess he's right there, ultimately, and that is what I said in my video. I said, you know what, we don't know if Ronnie personally filed this strike. All we know is that he celebrated it, and that does seem to be the case, but I don't really care about that delineation personally. Like, I still think that Ronnie showed himself to be unable to handle criticism there, but that's really...
I mean, especially if he's... Because, like, if he just sees that you made a video on him, I wonder if he's, like, that type of guy who has, like, Google alerts set up whenever... like someone posts about his name, or like maybe he has like a fucking intern, like Mr. Ronnie, they made another video making fun of you. And he's like, all right, let me get my team on this. And he just fucking shuts everything down.
all I said in that video. I was pretty, you know, tame, pretty middle of the road, as I always am. As you guys all know, I'm a massive fence sitter. So, yeah, I wasn't too harsh on Ronnie for that, despite him cheering on what I saw as the censorship of a relatively harmless music review channel. But when Fantano talked about this, he said a lot more than I did.
Whether he's using his Twitter page to harass and shut down people trying to talk about their experiences having been sexually assaulted, and he doesn't do the same thing that maybe some other artists do when they're hit with similar allegations. They might make a statement. They might apologize. They might disappear into the shadows, never to be heard from again because they're cowardly pieces of shit. But no, not Ronald. Ronald doubles down and sues. On top of this, he's had domestic violence charges too against him, which were ultimately dismissed, true, but the fact that all of this behavior is piling up here is quite sussy-wussy, which is a legal term.
God fucking, why is he fucking sussy wussy? Goddamn.
I think from this clip alone, we can see that Anthony didn't do a great job of going through these allegations. He just kind of fires them off all point blank with no real elaboration or further commentary or further information about it. I think he could have done a much better job here going through all of it more carefully. If you know, if you want to get into allegations like that, I think you got to do a little more. I mean, you can obviously mention allegations and the existence of them offhandedly if you want, but if you're going to take a stance of seemingly believing the victim and then just saying like, well, he sued the accuser without really getting into how he won that case and she lost a defamation suit, like it was determined in a court of law that she defamed him. I mean, it's kind
No, and that is an important detail to mention, right? That is very important. Now, you for example, right? And don't worry, I'm bringing him up because we're getting into him later. Like Mama Max, for example, right? Like how many exes have come out against him, saying that he was like a creepy or like a very terrible boyfriend, you know, who did some weird stuff? Quite a bit too many for my liking. Now, obviously, nothing criminal has been charged against him, and that's very important to clarify, is that he's never been charged with any sort of misconduct behavior, any domestic sort of thing. But that being said, you know, I can come to my own personal conclusion of maybe that guy just has a problem with women, right? But it is important to clarify that legally speaking, nothing has happened to him. So you can't say for sure as a matter of fact that he is definitely one of those things, you know?
kind of hard to justify dealing with allegations like that, right? Like, Anthony did not do a good job at all. I don't like Ronnie Radke that much. You know, I think he is an insecure person in a lot of cases. It seems that way to me. He seems to be, like, reading every single thing anyone says about him, and he takes a lot of offense to it. Like when he cheered on Brad being striked for just reviewing his music. And I would call what Brad did ultimately, like, fair use of the content for the purpose of criticism. You know, Ronnie sucks in that case. But when you get into the legal stuff and the more specific allegations about certain people, you really have to be careful with that kind of thing. And Anthony Fantano did not do that. There's another weird instance in that clip when Fantano says the word sexual assault at this point in time in the video.
Whether he's using his Twitter page to harass and shut down people trying to talk about their experiences having been sexually assaulted.
But if you even look at the screenshots that are there on screen, the accuser he's talking about doesn't even use the word sexual assault. This is a different allegation than the false allegation that Casey Boswell made. And I looked into this stuff during my prior video, so I can kind of get into it here. Basically, Ronnie was somewhat informally accused of simple assault on Twitter, not, you know, not sexual assault, just assault, like, pow, 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 I'm Jake Paul. He was accused of that on Twitter, essentially with no evidence to corroborate it, which prompted him to respond by calling the accuser massive. He called
wait, is it? You are 8'7" looking in that pic, saying I threw your ass against the van. You lying ass fucking bitch. I do not play with false shit. I'll take every last cent from you. You cannot stand that I'm doing good. Why do you need this kind of attention? I like how he basically admits here. Look, buddy. Look, buddy, you're like 8 foot, okay? If you wanted to, you could kick my ass.
called her massive, as in big boned, and he also told her that he will take every last dollar from her for defaming him. Hello, base department? This girl claimed that he choked her 8 years prior to the allegation at an event, and this obviously sparked a lot of discussion among fans and detractors, and one of the people who weighed in here was Andy Sizek. He's got one of those Russian names. Imagine being Slavic. He's like a YouTube music guy. He's the singer of the band Monuments and another band called Makari, I hardly know her. And
Makari sounds like some fucking like anime, and that sounds like the best friend in like a romance rom-com anime who like is in love with the MC, but you know the MC's chasing after another girl. That's what it sounds like to me.
Andy at the time tagged Ronnie in this accusation, hoping that he would address whatever happened here. And Ronnie, in return, would basically tell him to not get involved in something he can't get out of. He's like, hey, I'm Heisenberg. I am the danger. Andy was pretty shocked at that response, and he ended up responding. And he basically was like, look, I'm just trying to make the scene a more inclusive space for everyone, okay? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, and I think it's important to respond. You know, there's this quote from him on Twitter where he says, I'm not interested in starting a war. However, this is a very serious accusation and goes well beyond just acting like an asshole. Those of us in the music world have a responsibility to hold others accountable if their behavior is dangerous. Andy went on to express his disdain at many of his heroes and Warped Tour icons supposedly ending up being sexual predators. And if you guys have listened to like Warped Tour music like Pierce the Veil or A Day to Remember, you guys know there's like some allegations against certain members of those bands. Like the drummer from Pierce the Veil was accused by a girl who said when she was like, I want to say 15 or 16, that essentially something bad had happened to her by that guy, and that guy ended up being removed from the band. And a similar thing happened to one of the guys in A Day to Remember, which is my...
You see, the problem here, guys, is these modern day rock bands, okay, they're trying to live like it's the 70s and 80s where they can just do a bunch of coke and mess with girls of questionable age, right? But you know, in the day of smartphones, it's kind of hard to get away with that nowadays. It's kind of hard.
My personal favorite band. The bassist was accused of something bad, and it resulted in him leaving the band ultimately. So, you know, I can understand to an extent Andy's sort of upsettedness, his anger, his rage at seeing that some of these people, you know, may have not been the greatest guys in the world. But after that, he would make a big mistake because he would call Ronnie the Bill Cosby of alt music.
Hey, it's Ronnie. It's Fat Ronnie. Just fucking imagine, like, he still has like the long ass hair with the neck tattoos, but he's like 200 pounds fatter. He's like, hey. You want to come back to my tour bus? I got an extra large queen bed.
Which is kind of a, you know, if you know what Bill Cosby apparently did, like, doy, not the smartest comparison. And his evidence for this comparison was basically like the amount of accusations levied at Radke rather than their validity. And he really didn't delve into what was true and what was not, which is kind of a similar thing to what Fantano did. Ronnie ended up posting a very scathing response on TikTok.
Man, this is why, like, you gotta either be like me, where you just you don't give a fuck and you just laugh at everything, or you be a turkey Tom and you do your due diligence with the research, right? That's what you gotta do. That's what you should do if you want to go down that route, right? Or again, you could just be like me, just laugh at everything, so that way, you know, you can't be held accountable for anything. Cause like, hey, I'm just doing this for goose. I'm just a goofy guy, Ronnie. I'm just a goofy guy, okay?
He said that Andy was just some guy he'd never heard of talking shit to gain some buzz off of his name. And Ronnie would ultimately end this whole beef with a tweet saying, guys in a band I never heard of talking shit, dudes in bands I grew up listening to fully support me. Cope, you're coping. Ronnie's accusing you of coping and you're
Ronnie, cope and seethe, motherfucker.
Coping and seething. He would later add, I'm gonna start doing what Andy Sizek does and blame it on autism every time I say something crazy. Damn, Andy's just like Brad Taste for real.
God damn.
I did it because I was disabled. Now, all of the tweets around this, aside from that last one, have been deleted as far as I can tell, so ultimately the Twitter beef was kind of settled, but despite that, Fantano would include some stuff from Andy Cizek in his video and not really critically go into it or interpret it in any way. Now, in that video, as far as I can tell, Fantano does differentiate that the Casey Boswell allegation is different from this Australian woman who accused Ronnie of assault, like physical assault, but he does mislabel the allegation of assault as sexual assault when really that's not even what the accusation was. So overall, you can tell from this video his coverage was very, very sloppy. But the question you and I are asking today is, did Anthony Fantano commit defamation? Did he defame Ronnie Radke, legally speaking? Because Ronnie himself has recently filed a...
That's the thing, is defamation is a very hard thing to prove in the United States. What this is probably going to go down is because, let's be honest, Ronnie has a whole hell of a lot more money than Mr. Fantano, right? So what's going to happen is the lawsuit's going to happen. Somewhere down the line, they're going to have to settle out of court because Fantano's going to run out of money because lawyers are fucking expensive, especially if you're dealing with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, right? And, you know, they're probably... It's just gonna be some fucking clause where it's like, Fantano, you can't make fun of my music anymore, man. imagine that, like that's included. Like all of this was just so that way Anthony Fantano could no longer like review Falling in Reverse albums.
A defamation lawsuit against the internet's busiest music nerd.
This man just said that I sexually assaulted someone, pretty much. He's implying that I did it. He's implying I did it because he's saying that I doubled down on literally...
What the fuck? What the fuck is this get up? Fucking cowboy outfit?
Getting accused of something.
Yo, Ronnie about to film the remake of Brokeback Mountain?
Thing that never happened.
It does seem to me personally like Fantano did imply in his video that Ronnie was guilty of these allegations. I don't think you can deny that from watching his video. I mean, just from that one clip where Fantano says that Ronnie bullies people who speak out about their experiences being sexually assaulted by him. I mean, he's basically implying there that it definitely happened, right? That's what he's saying. And then you've also got that other clip where he says that Ronnie's response is to sue the victims in question of these scenarios without going on to explain that ultimately Ronnie won that lawsuit and that person was determined in court to have defamed him. I mean, you know, it's really just some very sloppy, slobbery coverage of a...
Yeah, it's very sloppy coverage. Now, does this mean Ronnie should silence him by suing him? You see, I have a YouTuber's perspective of looking at this, where like Ronnie should make a video because he's very much a social media personality at this point, right? He's not just a rock star, he's also a social media personality. I think Ronnie should, and I know he's done this multiple times, as we've seen in a couple of clips from Turkey Tom's video here, he should just make a video and clarify that none of this stuff is true or can be proven at this point, and just go from there, right? But he's going the route of he's just going to be suing him, which I understand. It's like, especially like that like LA celebrity sort of field is their go-to stuff when they get made fun of a lot of times, especially if they come from like a music or like an acting background. But that being said, and I get being upset over heinous accusations like this. It still shows how much of an alleged insensitive pussy you are by commenting constantly on people who make videos about you, by taking down videos that are making fun of your music, and by suing people who have mean stuff to say about you. Like, what a way to show how much of a hardcore rocker you are than by fucking suing everyone under the sun who's ever said a mean fucking thing about you.
Complicated situation that I don't think he did a very good job of going over. He could have done way better justice to the story than just rapid firing a bunch of shit and seemingly not really looking into it at all.
Fantano himself directly accuses plaintiff of using his Twitter page to harass and shut down people trying to talk about their experiences having been sexually assaulted by Radke, adding, as he speaks these words into the camera, Fantano simultaneously displayed on the screen entirely falsified accusations about Mr. Radke made last year by an Australian woman named Bree Jamieson. The woman accused Radke of throwing her against a van and choking her. The suit adds, contrary to Fantano's mischaracterization, Ms. Jamieson did not actually claim to have been sexually assaulted by Radke. She falsely charged that he physically assaulted her, which he categorically did not do. It says there were several other passengers in the van she drove for the 2015 tour, and no one observed anything that she contended occurred. Continuing, Ms. Jamieson voluntarily deleted the above referenced tweet, as well as others about Radke. Speaking through legal counsel, Ms. Jamieson indicated that she does not currently intend to make any further public comments about Radke.
Now, the problem Fantano seems to have gotten himself into here is that he, like I said, rapid-fired off information about a ton of accusations made towards Ronnie without any real desire to delve deeper into what was said, who was right versus who.
Yeah, I think what had happened was Fantano, what he probably did was he just Googled like bad stuff Ronnie has done, or he looked on Twitter for like a brief second, right? And he took everything as fact and just decided to just go from them. Again, very poor research. And this is the type of mistake I would see a small commentary channel doing, or someone like Sensitive Society or a Cheeto making. But you're a multi-million sub music critic channel, like a music review channel, right? And people take what he has to say seriously, as shown by Drake being upset about how Fantano has reviewed his music. So if you are if you're not doing your research and you're actively saying like false stuff or like half truths, that like more so than anything than being sued, I think this is just gonna hurt his reputation more than anything else. I don't even really think Ronnie necessarily has to sue him here. He just has to show, like, look how false he's being right now. Look how much of a liar he is, right? That's all he has to do. And bam, Fantano takes a hit to his credibility.
Was wrong, and if there was any merit to these allegations in the first place. I mean, he did that with two specific ones that we saw, and he didn't really manage to, determine what the truth was of those. He did very shitty reporting. He implied that many of the accusations were true as well, despite the fact that in the case with the Australian woman who claimed physical assault happened, there was no proof of it. She ended up shutting her mouth about it once lawyers got involved, and Ronnie also, like I said, won a defamation suit against the other accuser, which is definitely something that Ronald's lawyers intend to really hone in on.
The suit continues. Immediately following his republication of Miss Jamieson's libel in the video, Fantano then displays on screen false and defamatory quotes by a woman named Caitlin Casey Boswell, as well as Levi Rounds, along with the headline from a June 10th, 2015 article on the Metal Sucks website. Above the three images, Fantano writes, "These are separate allegations." They were not. The attorney notes, "The police did not arrest Radke. The prosecutor did not charge Radke. Radke was not required to post bail. No restrictions were placed on Radke's movements. Radke later sued the accuser, with the judge entering a judgment in Radke's favor in July of 2016. But the suit contends that Fantano made no mention of the fact that Radke was vindicated in a courtroom. The suit alleges that Fantano acted with malice and knew at the time he made the defamatory statements that they were false, or acted with reckless disregard for the truth or falsity of his statements.
So I'm not a lawyer, but in my opinion, I don't think Fantano necessarily acted with like direct malice here. But as for reckless disregard for the truth, my impression from the video itself is that Fantano didn't really care about the details of these accusations. He just saw that Ronnie had done something shitty to Brad by cheering on the copyright, strikes. And as a result, he felt it was more than justified to make a video calling him a bad person. And that alone, that part alone, as far as calling out Ronnie for what he did cheer on for Brad, I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is firing off information about all these accusations without really clarifying it, without delving into any of it. and without really trying to pick it apart and do, good reporting. When you're a public figure on YouTube, realistically, you have a responsibility to try to get to the bottom of things and to, if you don't want to do that, just shut the fuck up about it. And Fantano didn't do that. So in my opinion, whether...
Yeah, it's not, and again, if you're just like, you're just making jokes about the guy, that's one thing, right? But you're reporting something. You're trying to make an objective statement about a shitty copyright situation, right? You're not just making fun of him. You're trying to bring to light other stories about the guy. That being said, though, Ronnie, I'm gonna have to say this. I still think you're kind of a pussy for wanting to sue him. Like, I'll be real honest, man. Look, but listen, Ronnie, okay, Ronnie, you get me like tickets front row to your next show. Okay, it's all gonna be solved. All gonna be solved. Watch him sue me. He's like, defendant actively was trying to bribe Ronnie by saying he would delete the video if Ronnie bought him tickets. But anyway, that is it for this topic. And guys, a little bit of an intermission here. If you want to support the channel, please leave a like, retweet the stream, so that way we can get as many people as in here possible. One thing that was really awesome that happened while I was taking my little break was the June the King Review Tech USA video came out, and he actually used portions of my interview with Jay, which was really awesome to see. I'm not gonna be reacting to the video, at least not today. But it was incredibly awesome to see that, it like. I think I said this on Twitter, but like, it kind of feels like I made a little bit of an impact content wise. So yeah, it was pretty cool to see. But guys, there's something else we have to talk about real quick. So as many of you may have heard, Mike the Bike has received a strike on the channel. Here it is right here. So after exhausting all available options, YouTube has decided not to reverse their strike on my Pumped Up Kicks cover. Furthermore, they have told me that because of the specific violation, I will no longer be eligible for monetization on my channel going forward, and I will explain more below. On Wednesday morning, which this was the 23rd, so this was a few days ago, I noticed I received a strike on my cover of Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People. This was a cover commissioned for a Randy Stair documentary and was in my channel fully monetized since about 4 months ago and was about to hit 18K, which is, by the way, awesome thing for Mike. The Pumped Up Kicks cover, by the way, is used in the Turkey Tom video. Yeah. Or was it Gokunaru? One of the two. Either way. No. Mike made a parody song for Sneeko for Gokunaru, and the Pumped Up Kicks one was for Turkey Tom. I was told I broke YouTube's policy on violation of extremist/criminal organizations. I managed to get Team YouTube to manually review the video because the video was simply my cover using the same lyrics as the original song and the thumbnail with a filter. On Thursday morning, they said they would not be reversing the strike, so I attempted to reach out to Google support using the chat support option in YouTube Studio. I was told since the video was manually reviewed, it can no longer be reversed, and I am no longer can be monetized again. I asked if I could know exactly why the strike was again. What strike as? Again, the song had the same lyrics as the original Foster the People song, and the thumbnail is similar to other thumbnails of videos that are older and with more views on the site. Clarify, I'm not obviously saying I want these videos to be struck at all. I am just wanting to know why mine was. Google support said that unfortunately only the internal team that reviewed the video knows a specific reason for the strike. I truly appreciate all the support I have been shown. However, I don't believe there's anything left to do. Next week, I'm going to go live on my channel to go over the situation in further detail and announce my new channel, and I will work going forward. Yeah, so this does suck. Mike's been working on his main channel for a long time, and it sucks that, you know, he finally was receiving some success on that end with his Pumped Up Kicks cover, with his Sneeko cover, and, you know, it fucking ruined it. He was, I think, Mike, I'm gonna have to double check. Mike was close to hitting 3K on YouTube. I need to double check that. Need to double check that real quick. Yeah, Mike is like, he's 2.8K. 2.8K subs, and they fucking ruined it. And it absolutely sucks that this happened to him. Again, guys, if you can, go show Mike the Bike some love by, if you haven't already, supporting his channel, so that way, you know, more artists like him can't be silenced by Team YouTube for the stupidest fucking reasons. But I digress, and let's move on with some of the more topics, shall we? Now, some of you may remember, what was it, a few days ago, or, you know, at the time of this live stream, Muda decided to delete his Twitter. Now, he has his own reasons for doing this. He claims that he was tired of seeing the racism of Indian people on Twitter and just decided to delete it so that way he could just focus on work and YouTube. Honestly, I don't know what making such a big show of it would help. Me personally, if I was in that position, I would keep the account active, but just not use it. Sort of like PewDiePie, for example. Like, he technically has a Twitter. It's not active, right? And plus too, like, I'm sure he still has to use Twitter for, like, YouTube related stuff still, right? So, I don't know, it would help more so just to, like, be quiet about it, you know? And of course, you know, as soon as Muda shows any weakness, as soon as, like, there's blood in the water, all the fucking piranhas and leeches and sharks come around to start, you know, picking at what they think is the corpse. And so here's, like, Glick. How the fuck you pronounce this idiot's name? A couple weeks ago, he made a video on why you should never trust a YouTuber. And look at that Lightwave story time video. Now, guys, if you're not familiar with Lightwave, oh my god. So Lightwave was a live event that Glink was doing, and it sucked. It absolutely sucked. It was a train wreck, and it was funny to watch. Absolutely fucking funny to watch, okay? And there's no denying that. So we have, you know, it's been like roughly like 2 years now.
It seems like the most.
Yeah, about 2 years now since it, you know, happened. We actually covered it here on, we covered it here on Nerdy Live, and then we covered it over on Dave's channel when I was still his producer. But of course, Nick probably has like the most popular video on the subject on his second channel. Probably not the most popular. I think, did Muda make a video on it? I'll have to double check. But anyway, here is Nick's highlight of the situation.
It seems like the most fitting description of a drug is a substance that alters your state of mind.
Make sure you refill that drink, get a snack if you want. Because we're in this for the long haul.
For better or worse, whatever it is, it alters your brain chemistry. Now, porn is not a substance, of course. It's not something you ingest, just like anything you watch on TV is not something you ingest, but the physical effects on your body and on your mind are pretty much...
Yeah, by the way, he's one of these guys who's like he makes taking drugs uncool, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I want to try every drug that's out there, right? I want to be that guy who's like tried every drug, like Pokemon. You gotta try them all, right? But like listening to him talk about drugs makes drugs so uncool. Like, you know what the Dare program should have done is they should have just had like that one guy who took mushrooms and like supposedly it changed his entire life. And you just have him talk to a group of kids and bam, there you go. There you go. No one would have done drugs. You see, instead of talking about how dangerous drugs are, you need to have that guy who's like, yeah, like, man, like what it does, man, is like it opens up your mind and like opens you to new experiences and it changes you as a person, man. I guarantee you that not a single kid in that group would have touched drugs after that, because they would have made drugs so uncool to do drugs.
Indistinguishable from a drug, and in my opinion, more invasive and more accessible, and therefore more potentially dangerous and addictive.
What did you do? What drug? What dose? Like, talk to me about this. I'm curious now.
Okay, so I've done shrooms at a relatively low dose, like about 1.5 to 2.5 grams. There is something interesting about this theory that the way humans evolved was through the use of these mushrooms and similar substances, and that they formed this, not instead of a monogamous hierarchical structure of relationships.
You see, this makes drugs sound so uncool. So uncool. I don't want to ever take drugs again now because of this. Like, I want to live like that. Oh God, what was that? What was that move? Like, straight edge. I want to live that straight edge lifestyle now. Because Jesus fucking Christ, it's fucking lame. Fucking lame ass motherfucker telling me about how humans wouldn't have evolved today if we didn't take mushrooms. So like, mushrooms are actually like really good for us, man. Like, okay, there's one thing where it's like you believe that, right? It's another stupid ass thing if you say it. Like, whenever like a comedian, for example, says that like, yeah, like comedy is like the last bastion of like free speech, man. Like, whenever I hear them say it, I want to take their microphone. I go, shut the fuck up. I want to tell them to shut the fuck up because you're fucking stupid. You should be fucking silenced, right? Now, I personally believe that, jokes is like the ultimate expression of free speech, right? But whenever you hear like some old ass fucking comedians say that shit, you want to like just fucking like punch them.
Orgiastic one. And why I think that's interesting is because if you're around people that do these things, or you've done them, or you kind of know about the aesthetic of them, there is this openness and this experience of openness with other people that would lend itself. And there's this sexual arousal is also
AKA he's admitting he's done mushroom orgies.
Also part of the effect it has. And it's like,
without getting too specific, are you pro orgy?
It's more difficult to navigate a social situation when you're, when you're tripping, basically. But I've managed, and I've had some difficulty, but I've managed to always come at the end of the trip smiling, happy, appreciating.
Oh, dude, after an orgy, yeah, I bet you're smiling.
Appreciating life, calling and hugging the people I love, and I've seen it allow my personal relationships with people to flourish, and I've just stopped giving a fuck about it.
This was the live event, by the way. This was the best part. This was the best part about it. This was the live event. It was just like you hired some fucking Craigslist DJ to fucking do this, and there's like that one, like, hi, I'm a friend of him, and he said I should come.
Shit that I thought mattered when it came to like caring about what other people think and worrying about, you know, status and ego. And of course, me being here is an expression of ego. But there was a time where
No one fucking showed up to this, man.
I was like,
I think he did this during VidCon, if I'm remembering correctly. He did this during VidCon. So, like, no fucking YouTubers showed up to this shit, man.
Why am I even trying to convince people on Twitch or YouTube or whatever of all this shit? But it's like, I need an ego to survive, to have a purpose in the world. I think it's okay to have an ego. And I've come to terms with that. But I also want to share some of the experiences, the knowledge that I think has been imparted to me from these experiences. And I think it's not just about me and what I have to say. It's about this community of people who've seen things, have experienced things this way.
Holy shit, yeah, we're getting into it now. Holy shit. Lame ass motherfucker.
Hello to all 122 of you. We officially have passed the viewers for Lightwave, but
Oh yeah, he was live streaming this. I forget that detail. He was live streaming a Lightwave event.
Before we're getting too ahead of ourselves, YouTube events in general are one of the most difficult things to pull off. VidCon yearly is most of the time the one that you'll hear the most YouTubers and the most community members attend. There are these small debate events that you'll see that usually have poor mic setup. There are these debate panels that are held in bowling alleys by Ethan Ralph. But historically, when people have tried to throw a convention on a whim near the time that people spend at VidCon, well, those usually don't work very well. July 16th. You guys remember July 16th? That's when FouseyTube had a manic episode.
Yeah. Where you got the clip of him screaming at Keem. Oh, classic YouTube right there. Classic fucking YouTube. Jesus.
Spent his life savings on a convention that nobody attended. If you remember TanaCon, Tana was upset that she wasn't a premier creator at the venue during VidCon, so she launched her own convention, invited a ton of fans, far more than the building can house, and then people were getting outrageous sunburns outside, waiting in line to enter the building for the ball pit, and all of these things that just did not function. That's because doing any sort of convention takes time, it takes money, it takes preparation, it takes a good date. There's a million different things that can make one of these good, bad, in between. And we will address certain faults that our good friend Glink here has graciously shown us what not to do for YouTube conventions. Now, if you guys don't know Glink, Glink is in my opinion, seems like a right-wing YouTuber who makes a lot of vlogs about like LA and the struggles living there and stuff like that. He makes some pretty cool content. He debates Destiny a few times, gets absolutely floored in those conversations. But
oh yeah, no duh. If you're debating someone's like, yo, man, like, mushrooms, like, open your mind, man. Like, winning a debate against that type of dude, it's easy. So easy.
Glink is he's leading the culture war right now. The first, actually, can we take a look at Glink's profile? I want to show you how he presents himself. Okay, let me get a we're gonna get to the Mr. Girl stuff. Don't get ahead of yourselves, chat. Let's see how is Glink the YouTuber presenting who he is right now. If I were to go check his Twitter account, let's see what I would. Okay. Glink's profile says he's a visionary. That's our first indication that something's...
Whenever a YouTuber calls himself a visionary, that's like red flag number one right there. Red flag number one. Okay, like let's get off the high horse here, buddy. You know, we're just fucking YouTubers. I don't know what to tell you. Buddy. you make videos on the internet and people like them. You know, there's something grandiose about that.
A little bit off. that's our first. Okay, all right. So that's our first little warning. Now, I was pretty skeptical of Glink. I know plenty of people who hold the position of being anti-pornography. I'm sure some of you in chat are anti-pornography. I'm personally not, but if you are, that's perfectly fine with me. Welcome. Have a great time. But Glink was arguing a debate about how pornography rots your mind, okay? It affects the chemicals in your brain.
Some would say brain rot, you know?
And I thought, okay, that's a fair argument you're making. But you take, like, LSD, do mushrooms, and trip on acid. So...
Again, totally different, man. Totally. It affects your brain in a positive way. I'm sure that's how Glink sees it, right?
Realistically, what leg do you have to stand on in that argument? Well, apparently, in the time since that conversation, Glink has just been, like, on a psychedelic rampage, and his brain has turned to paste. I don't really know another way to explain it. Something is he opened up his mind. We're gonna talk exactly how Glink has supposedly opened up his mind. His third eye is widened, and now he sees the truth, chat. So let's start taking a look at... I want you to experience this the way I experience it. So we're going to start from the top, okay? We're going to go all the way down, and you're going to take the journey with me through this beautiful new event. So this is where I got my first...
Oh, wait. Does he show the trailer here? Does he show the trailer? Oh, yep, he does. Sweet.
First indication. There's a post here from... the Destiny subreddit, as Destiny was...
Oh, yeah, because Glink and Destiny were supposed to have, like, a live debate here.
Supposed to attend this event last night, and actually backed out of it. So he never got an opportunity.
Destiny was like, no one's going to show up to this fucking thing. I'm fucking bailing out.
To speak at this event. And I didn't know what this event was. But I did end up seeing this screenshot, and apparently, nobody shows up. So Glink created this brand new convention. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should just watch the trailer first. I think that's actually a good place to start, because I don't think I actually covered the trailer on my timeline. So he creates this whole brand new convention, and I guess intentionally he does this in Dallas, Texas, while all the YouTubers are at VidCon. That's probably that's your first indicator that something is actually seriously fucking wrong here. Is that this trailer that you're about to watch is for an event that's running simultaneously with VidCon, while all the creators who could possibly fucking attend this are in California. Glink is so self-absorbed and egotistical that he thought they would not go to VidCon on 3 weeks' notice. These people had their planes booked and their hotels booked. He's so egotistical and self-absorbed that he just assumed everyone would go to fucking Texas randomly. All right, let's take a look at this.
There is a revolution upon us.
There is a revolution upon us.
An unseen movement of
no sellouts here.
Artists, creators, and engineers brewing in the shadows, the far corners of the internet. On their own, these individuals are creating great content.
Justin Wang, notoriously someone
was at VidCon.
Who's at VidCon is featured in the trailer. Obviously, Justin Wang does not attend this event.
Together, these beacons of light can form a wave. They will blossom into something
They will blossom into something beautiful. Like, did he take his microdose of mushrooms before then? Bro, what's with people in this, like, online space who interact with drama, who take supposedly, like, guys, we just take, like, small doses of mushrooms, and, like, it doesn't affect us at all. Fucking schizos. Like, what was that Asian chick's name? The one who was involved with the Bab stuff. Why am I forgetting her name now? Fuck. Okay. Well, her and fucking Glink need to, like, team up to microdose together, so that way they can fucking become insufferable together. Jesus fucking Christ.
Beautiful. Something that can.
These beacons of light can form a wave, chat. These beacons of fucking light can form a wave.
Beacons of light can form a wave, and they will blossom into something beautiful. Something that can.
Dude, he wrote this stuff down and was like, I'm like a poet right now. That's what Glink was probably fucking thinking filming this.
Be shown to the world. If only it had a stage. Lightwave is that stage.
Guys.
And like he just takes fucking footage of like Woodstock wannabe events, so that way, like, look, this is what Lightwave is gonna be. And then when you look at like the actual fucking images of Lightwave, and it's terrible. It's fucking terrible, right? Anyway, okay, we get the picture, right? We kind of get the picture. That was a terrible ass fucking event that should have never happened, right? And we have his call-in with in after hours, because this is, can you believe it? This is when this is when Augie was still making content. Can you believe it, guys? Can you believe Augie used to make fucking content? We miss it, man. We miss the Augie content, that's for sure. but yeah, it was an absolutely insane thing. Oh, did he not? I saved the wrong link. Here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Augie RFC link should pop up. Not what I wanted, but a Bo Black's clip's always funny. Again, not what I wanted. Okay, YouTube, please. Would you work? I would love it if you worked, YouTube. Here we go. For some reason, he just has it on. Okay, the call is
Turn on your camera.
How do I sound? Do I sound good?
You sound all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, hold on. I'm turning on the video. Wait.
Okay.
It's just gonna be.
How
like
do I do
porn.
this? No, it's not going to be porn.
Oh yeah, this is when
I mean,
Tom was briefly
maybe,
a
but
host for
not
RFC.
intentionally.
After
It's gonna be homosexual only.
Damn, nice
Okay,
angle, dude.
right.
All right,
This is a great angle.
we've got Glink on the show. Did you watch? Okay, let me ask you first of all. Did you watch last week's episode of RFC? It's totally fine if you didn't. I'll catch you up.
I'm not all caught up on
You're not
on
all
the
caught
RFC,
up.
no.
So there's been a lot of like questions and rumors and circulations around your Lightwave event that you hosted. I believe it was 2 weeks ago. It was right after VidCon. And
it was during VidCon.
so,
too.
a lot of us,
I think Augie's from Texas, right? So like, if he was interested, maybe he could have made it, right? But like, this is just terrible planning on Glink's part, right? Like, I'm sure if you had given them a heads up, some of the YouTubers would have been like, you know what? Yeah, I'll go to your event, right? But he's just kind of announced it, and everyone was like, wait, what?
a lot of people in the chat were like, yo, you guys should get Glink on. I believe Tom reached out to you, and then you reached out to me, and we brought you on the show here to talk about Lightwave because, even you yourself acknowledged that there's tons of confusion about the event. Why it was marketed the way that it was, what happened to some of the guests, how, it ended up happening and stuff like this. Like, what was the purpose for it? There's a lot of confusion around it. So I just wanted to go over that. So tell us what your goal was with Lightwave.
My goal with Lightwave. The goal is not something that was so simple. I think at one point, the best way I described it was it's a meeting point for the engineers and artists of our time.
You see this fucking pretentious bullshit right here. This is why I can't. It's a meeting place for the artists and engineers of our time, dude. Okay, you know what? To give him some credit, okay. We haven't watched the Glenn content in recent years. Maybe he's mellowed out since then. Maybe he's not a pretentious bullshitter anymore. But this this stuff right here makes him sound so annoying to me, right? Like what he's basically doing here is he's just being like an off-brand like Joe Rogan who has none of the talent.
And that is even in itself kind of vague. Really what it was for is to make new connections that are not limited by the limitations of internet spaces, of Twitter, of YouTube, of Discord, where sure, you can meet people, you can have an audience, you can debate people, whatever, you can meet other creators even, but it sort of always feels like you're going through a filter when you do. It feels like you're in this bubble, whether it's due to an algorithm or just whatever your community of friends is. You're kind of in a certain bubble of the internet. And it's like, you and I can name several creators that are big deals to us that have large followings,
right?
That some average person on the street would have never even heard of. At this event, there was plenty of people who didn't even know who Louis Rossmann was, and yet there was plenty of people who showed up specifically for Curtis Yarvin. And then outside of those people, like nobody knew who Curtis Yarvin was.
Oh boy, this is Muda. This is Muda. Muda showed up in the call. Oh, Muda was gonna be very important to this story. Apparently, let's watch, shall we?
So the whole point was to bring together communities and individuals, both the creators and some of their audiences, to a place where their ideas can be shared in an open way, where they can just meet people from different perspectives who also have followings. It's just sort of a place where the creatives can share in what they're doing without like a corporate structure to it.
Okay, so without like the limitations of like Discord and Twitter's like terms of service, I would assume, right?
Jesus Christ, Muda. Why do you always join these calls with like the shittiest like surroundings possible on your fucking phone? Fix that, Muda. You still do it. You still do that to this day. You did that on lolcow. It's annoying. You know what? Glink was right about you.
Right.
Sure, terms of service, but even think about a physical space and where that physical space is. In Anaheim versus Austin, there's a big difference. For example, something I was comparing it to is VidCon, obviously not in terms of the scope or like the attendance or even how it's structured, but in terms of VidCon is explicitly for the purpose of bringing together online creators.
When you fill out this idea, right, it sounds okay on paper. Basically what he wants is like he wants a place where like people can meet up and have civil discussions on the current goings-ons, right? But also too, it kind of sounds like he wants like a place where like a bunch of like internet celebrities can do mushrooms. It's what it also sounds like, I'm not gonna lie.
But what started out as a YouTube kind of centric convention is now like this TikTok, pay $200 for a ticket for like exclusive access to the second floor where you meet all these other like pretentious creators you've never heard of. I don't know. It feels to me like very networky and very, it feels like Nickelodeon or like KidsCon for the most part.
Wouldn't the point of coming to this also be to network with the engineers and artists of our time?
Oh, sure, for sure. But not in a way that's like, you're not going there explicitly, because it's a place to meet TikTokers or it's even a place to meet YouTubers. You're just going because, okay, if you're somebody who is into Right to Repair or Louis Rossmann, for example, and you watch him, it might
be just joining the call, instantly leaving.
Might be interesting to hear Louis Rossmann share his perspective with somebody else on stage, somebody else with a following that is maybe in a related community or something that could be related. I think Right to Repair, like as a concept, does translate to a lot of tech-oriented communities, for example.
Okay, so we have that here. Now, a lot of people were, confused about like the marketing of the event. They were like, you mentioned there's something about bringing back like classic Rome or like sort of like the, that type of room there. And so some people were like confused. They're like, wait, is this a convention for YouTubers to hang out, or what kind of like big ideas are we discussing here? I guess like, I don't know.
Well, those are all seen or heard on the panels that we did. I don't think there's anything that radical even discussed. I think the most radical thing was probably Curtis Yarvin's whole political philosophy of monarchism, and nobody really even agreed with him on stage about it, but it's interesting to hear somebody advocate for that in a modern sense. So I think Yarvin is interesting for that reason, but I don't think I agree with it.
Okay. Now,
so, and it was just cool to see Rossman and
That didn't really answer the question, I feel. That really didn't answer the question. So yeah, man, like we had like this deep discussion about monarchism in like the modern day. Okay, but like who is this event for? That's the thing, right? Because like with the trailer, it kind of market it as like a alternative sort of to VidCon, but like other than you, there was no really other like internet celebrity there other than like what seemed like some philosophy dudes who might have a YouTube channel on the side,
and like Curtis Yarvin, this crypto guy, and like also I am a fan of Matt Tabor's work with Create Unknown. So personally, it was cool having him on for every panel, and I thought he was a great moderator. So, and he's someone who's like from the YouTuber community. Like he's someone that you guys have all, probably interacted with before. He's had plenty of our mutual friends and creators on his podcast.
Right.
So like the whole, it's trying to bring together people from different communities who maybe just value some basic things like free expression. I would say free speech, but that's kind of cringe and have like a sort of political connotation. But I just mean free expression.
I mean, free expression. I would argue that sounds cringier, but that's just me. Yo, it's not necessarily about like free speech, man. It's about like freedom of expression, right? I imagine like a 60s hippie saying that,
Expression of any kind, whether it's through communication or art or how we express ourselves online. Like, I think we all agree that there's a value to that being allowed.
Sure, yeah.
So I would say, but I'm also not trying to like shove an agenda. So like I mentioned that as like a value that I think the event promotes, but I'm not
I gotta ask you this though, because there was like a lot of confusion about some of the guests, right? You'd mentioned that Boogie was going to be there and Destiny and people that were more YouTube centered.
Oh God, imagine if Boogie. Oh my God, imagine if Boogie showed up with his shaman motherfucker. Oh, that would have been hilarious. Imagine Boogie talking with Glink about like, yeah, man, like mushrooms like really opened me up, and like imagine like on stage Boogie just goes into a spiel about how his mom and dad abused him for like the 50th time, and Glink's just like, yeah, man, yeah. Yo, Boogie, okay, Boogie, I need you and Glink to start a side podcast, okay? You can say it's a spinoff of LolCow. I need you and Glink to start a podcast, and all you do is talk about mushrooms on there. That would be amazing, okay? I see it. Easy 100 episodes out of that. Let's go.
Trick, right? And Boogie ended up putting up a tweet saying that he had never heard of it, and Destiny said, well, it seemed like there was some contention as to why Destiny didn't show up. Destiny, I believe, also claimed he didn't hear about it, but then told you that something personal came up. What was the deal with some of these guests that were more YouTube-centric that didn't appear there?
Okay. Boogie was never invited. That was a joke. I thought that was obvious. The trailer, people totally don't understand the trailer, and that's fine because it actually does more marketing than...
You see, like, if I make the trailer confusing, people talk about the trailer. Therefore, they talk about Lightwave. Therefore, it's marketing. It's genius. but like imagine if you will, right? I have a product or an event. Like let's call it the peanut butter and jelly event, right? But instead of showing peanut butter and jelly in the trailer, I show peanut butter and chocolate, right? Okay, I know this is dumb bullshit, but like hear me out. And people are like, wait, this is supposed to be a trailer about peanut butter and jelly. Why is it peanut butter and chocolate, right? And the guy who makes the trailer goes, yeah, you're talking about it. Therefore, it succeeded. Right? Like I get it. I get the whole like no publicity is bad publicity thing. But like when you're trying to like market your event as like a high intellectual like alternative to VidCon, and then you're just fucking like confusing everyone with the marketing, you're not succeeding in my eyes. I'm sorry to say that, buddy.
People totally understanding it, but the
So
trailer
you wanted
is a
the trailer
hype
to be
video.
confusing to build up some sort of like curiosity around the event.
It's a hype video. The trailer
Okay, but,
is
like,
literally
even if it's like a hype video, you're running this like convention where people are supposed to come have these thought-provoking debates. So it's like, is it supposed to be like a joke, or is it supposed to be like, you know, performance art, or like an actual convention? Because at that point, it's like we're kind of deviating away from the.
Glink had a 1,000 different fucking ideas that he wanted Lightwave to be, and he tried to execute them all at once, and it failed. That's what happened.
Serious, you know.
Oh, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be totally serious. That's the thing. That's why I went on stage and had a PowerPoint with watermark PNGs on it, because it's like not. I was trying to actually. If I was a bit more charismatic, it would have been 2070 Paradigm Shift V2, because I was trying to just kind of keep it lighthearted, but also somewhat like I'm not lying when I say there's a reason that. You know, we need a public forum, or why I'm hosting this for that purpose. I do mean that, but it's, you know, it's not meant to take myself so seriously, or like this event is like. Oh.
But wait, okay, you're not supposed to take yourself seriously, but you're also supposed to have deep, philosophical discussions about the world around us, how drugs affect that, and how we can like better ourselves with it. I'm sorry, what? Like, you see, this is the thing, Glick, is that you were trying to be 1,000 different things at once. Yeah, like, imagine if like I'm a video game developer. Like, yeah, it's gonna be like 1 part RPG, 1 part crafting system, 1 part racing game. It's gonna be 1 part platformer. It's gonna be also like 1 part puzzle game, and it's gonna be like a visual novel game too. And you're gonna have like a day and night system, and it's like. You're shooting a bunch of like what sound like good individual ideas, but you don't have the capability nor the mindset to execute any of these ideas appropriately. Again, is Lightwave supposed to be like a jokey kind of like let's all get together and have fun event? Is it supposed to be an event where again we have serious, deep discussions about our society and how how mushrooms can change that? Or is it just like just one big shit post? I'm leaning more towards one big shit post.
Oh, this is gonna change everything. It's just like, okay, here's a new idea, let's try it out, and here's, you know, we want to have fun too. It's not just about serious debates or like thought-provoking intellectuals or whatever. It's just it's artists.
I will say
art
this,
installations. That's what we had. Art installations.
I will say this though, you know, you're saying that it was a joke about Boogie and stuff, but a lot of people see that as like false advertising. And you were saying that you made your trailer like, you know, sort of like just random for like.
Do you think
the
we're going to
intrigue
airlift
factor.
Boogie to the event? Do you think we're going to airlift Boogie to the event so you could fire off warning
the
shots?
airlift thing sounds like a joke, but like the Boogie being there actually, like that comes off across as serious, especially when you announce other guests that weren't.
You see, I feel like if Glink knew about the shaman and the mushrooms, Boogie definitely would have been at the event. Again, okay, Glink, Boogie, hit me up. Okay, we'll get something down. We'll make the mushroom podcast. Okay, it's gonna be great. You're gonna make millions of dollars. Boogie, you're gonna make way more money than you ever did on Lolcow with the mushroom podcast. Hit me up, Boogie. I'll produce it for you. It's gonna be great. I'll keep all the revenue and I'll like give you guys like 5% each, but you'll make millions. Trust me.
Weren't jokes, right? So what's the difference?
I mean, I thought me frantically yelling in an open warehouse that Boogie 2988 is going to be there repeatedly to myself like an insane person while showing a low resolution JPEG of him saying featuring Boogie 2988 with a delay.
You see this, like this is the other thing too is you. It seems like if we're gonna take his word that the trailer was one big joke. Only you understood the joke, like. Only you understood the joke. No one else got the joke. It was only for you. Which, I mean, hey, you know, the point of this show is not necessarily to make other people laugh, it's to make myself laugh, right? But I don't know, when it's also the trailer for your big upcoming event that's supposed to compete with VidCon, maybe advertise it more for other people.
That also kind of insulting to
away
the serious artists too, like the serious people you brought. Like, okay, so
who was serious?
Well, Lewis, isn't he supposed to be the serious one? Like, he's talking about serious.
I didn't
stuff
even know. Well, I put Lewis in as a joke because I didn't even know if he was coming or not.
Excuse-moi? You plan this event? Like, what the fuck were you supposed to do then? If like legitimately no one showed up, right? And it's just you and like the fucking like people you hired for security, and then like that one DJ that we saw from Nick's video. Like, what the fuck were you supposed to do then? Right? Would you still tout it as a quote unquote success? Like this was what I remember being so frustrating about this whole thing was like, no matter what your criticism was, Glink was just like, well, you see, like it was actually supposed to be this thing. So in reality, it worked.
I had reached out to him at the time, or I thought I had reached out to him. Maybe I got the wrong email or something. But when I did reach out to him with the trailer mentioned, basically saying, hey, like, you know, sorry if that was abrupt, but I actually am interested. In having it at the event. I'm willing to cover your booking fees, your travel fees, and he was interested. So we made that work. So that's, you know, in a way, like what I'm saying is that the trailer served the purpose that it needed to, which was to not only get people talking about the event, which it did, but also...
Yeah, but was this supposed to be an event? Because the way that this is managed makes it sound like this is a drinking party that went a little Project X.
No, it was a 2-day event from the start. Right. The concept was to have a forum and a party day, which day 2 was, and it was pretty epic. It was legendary. I have the exclusive footage. That was like Project X. Project Z
day 2 supposed to be streamed?
No, it was never meant to be streamed. I have all the footage though, exclusively on Glink on YouTube. The documentary's coming out. I'm editing it right now. It's going to be something like the Sam Hyde iDubbbz documentary, only it's a bit more personal, obviously, but there will be some familiar faces, and it'll be pretty interesting.
There's a whole narrative running around that, you know, you become like obsessed or addicted with like shrooms or psychedelics of some sort, right? What do you think about that? Like, what do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say about people accusing people who don't know me?
Are you nuts? Are you nut job?
Well, you mentioned before, like you're doing a joke to come across as nuts in the trailer. That is one thing I think is interesting, right? Because a lot of people who watched that did actually walk away thinking that you were nuts, but not because like
that is
you were joking.
The entire comment section. Yeah.
You know, that is the thing about me. You get a little sugar in me, and I start to go cuckoo. I get a little wacky. A little wacky.
See, guys, he's a goofster. He's just a goofball. That's what Glink is, guys. He's just a goofball who also wants to have serious discussions about porn addiction and mushrooms.
Dude, you made like 4 Sam Hyde references in this one call.
No, it's more so his humor that I drive with in that sense, where it's like he's leaning into the cringe. I like that. I like leaning into the cringe. But that, to your point, I'm not like a druggie or I'm not insane. I'm ambitious. I'm a filmmaker. I'm an artist myself. I'm a very like emotional driven artist, but I try to be rational and logical when it comes to business and areas of life where I think you have to be serious.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, you just said that, but then you also like pitched an event where you didn't even contact the people in advance. You just like
I did contact the people in advance. I contacted everyone that was confirmed. So, and then
you just told us like 5 minutes ago that you didn't even know that you contacted Lewis. You're like, I guess I must have hit you up, and then you put him in the event trailer.
Yeah, he was in the event trailer with a low quality JPEG image with a question mark on the text.
So you didn't know. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was like
what kind of way is that to fucking run an event? Like, I don't know, they're showing up, they might show up, come anyway.
And Louis Rossman? Maybe. Why not? Like, that's basically what it means.
You didn't even contact Boogie either.
No, I didn't contact Boogie because that was the flat out.
Why'd you put him in the event? So, okay, but like, see, you're like, I want to be serious in business. If I operated a business like that, I'd be laughed out of the fucking room. Rightfully so, you know? Like, you can't do that. Come on.
Why can't I do that?
Because no one's gonna fucking take you seriously. If you want to be taken seriously in a fucking philosophical bullshit discussion, right? No one's gonna fucking take you seriously at that point, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Completely unprofessional. That's why this is cringe.
The whole
How can it be performance
is
art?
to not be professional because being professional is cringe and
Then
lame.
why the fuck are you talking about right to repair and monarchism and all that shit? What?
Because I'm talking about an event. I think events shouldn't be corporate and lame.
I guess
right to repair is to do with the legal system.
Well, is it corporate and lame to like contact your guests before you announce them? Is that
so? Okay,
really
would you like
lame?
me to explain? Would you like me to explain that?
sure.
That's the whole fucking point of you being on here. Is for you to explain whatever bullshit was going on in your fucking head at the time.
Down for you. Okay, so before I put out the trailer, I had confirmed with Destiny, with Ariel Pink.
Wait, hold on. If the event isn't corporate, I just got to ask you this. Why was there VC funding? Isn't that corporate?
Well, if you want
Well,
to get
you see, like it's a type of corporate I support actually, so it's like not bad.
into the financials of it, which is sort of like a pretty big leap from what we're talking about right now.
No, because you just said this isn't supposed to be a corporate event, yet corporate people are astroturfing and financing it. Wait, what?
I wouldn't say astroturfing. I would say it was partially funded by a VC that disassociated themselves from it and were not officially a part of the event in any capacity and actually benefited pretty much nothing from it.
So then
Then why do they fund you? No one funds anything without expecting some kickback from it. Oh god, now that like I'm curious about that. Like, so they funded your event without expecting anything in return. That sounds kind of fishy. I don't know if you duped them or if they duped you, but like I don't know, something's off.
a corporate structure that's financing this non-corporate event.
No, what I'm talking about is the event itself is not, there was no ticket fee, there was no guest list. Anyone could walk in, anyone could tune into the stream. The whole thing was put on. There was no badges. There was no, we weren't sponsored by somebody to promote an app or a website. None of that was part of this. But now, if you want to talk about where the funding came from, a lot of which was my own pocket, we can. But that's what I mean by it's not a corporate structured event. Whereas, VidCon.
Okay, so then why would the company give you money? Why would a corporate company give you the money to run this party or event? What was the incentive for them? Was it just
originally one of a representative from them was going to be on one of the panels, but they decided against doing it. They weren't interested anymore.
they saw no one was coming to this. Like, you know what? You keep the money, we're backing out. And that's probably what they were doing.
But I ended up keeping the funding and making the most of it. That's the long and the short of it.
But do you understand how any corporate sponsor in any capacity takes away from the original ethos of what you were trying to tell us 5 minutes ago?
No, because I didn't say the original ethos is not to have somebody invest in your idea.
No, but you just said this wasn't supposed to be corporate. This is like,
yeah, and I just explained to you all the ways that it wasn't corporate. There was no.
But it was corporate because you just got money from the VC. Just because I don't. Oh, here's a counterpoint. Okay, let's say that I put $100,000 of my own funding into running an event. Right, I didn't charge anybody any tickets, but the event was clearly designed by me to push some sort of agenda, or I was trying to get some of my own panelists in there. At that point, you got a corporate structure giving you money, even if you don't charge for tickets. It doesn't make the event non-corporate.
Okay, well then let me clarify what I mean by corporate.
Like it's very clear within with this debate here. Well, don't worry, we're gonna watch more. Is Glink has this idea, this structure of how he wants to do things. He isn't fully capable of doing that, whether it be the drugs, his lack of experience when it comes to hosting events. It becomes a train wreck pretty easily. And with the fact that he wasn't able to fully explain himself here, it just makes him look more and more moronic.
I don't mean corporate as the only adjective to describe the event, by the way. In fact, the main point was that it's about bringing people together from communities that are normally separate to express ideas freely. But on the corporate point you bring up, what I mean by corporate is like, it's not an event that's looking to promote a product or a website or an app or collect data or charge people for tickets, nor is it an event that's sponsored entirely by one of those things. So it was not sponsored. It was just Lightwave is an LLC I have. It's a company I have because to host something like this for tax purposes and all that, you should probably have a company rather than paying for it literally under your own bank account. But that's a more
is it? Let me ask you this.
Financial.
People are speculating that you paid like an extra like 10 grand for security for Destiny specifically, or I forget where exactly that came from, but I remember seeing that. Was that the case?
I paid an extra $4 grand for security, and
dude, that was the easiest paycheck of that security company's life. It was just, oh, you want to pay us to be security at an event no one's going to? Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that for sure.
That was
for Destiny or just for the event in general?
Or for the panelists at the event. Really, it was for the event in general. Okay. Because that's what the security did. They were just hanging around the event in general. And honestly, it was definitely it was not necessary, it was an over precaution. And I did that in part because a lot of people around me were encouraging me to do that. And I was like, okay, well, sure. Like I just was kind of working with the people around me. So we went with it. But, to dispel a couple things, like I was saying before, for who we had confirmed, we had Destiny, Ariel Pink. At one point, we had Rusty Cage, but he had to back out soon after he confirmed his booking. So that was something. That's why he was cut from the trailer. At one point, we had Little Apostate, who's like this Twitter. She's like a journalist, and she's on Twitter.
A Twitter journalist. Oh, that's some high class panelist right there. Fucking Twitter journalist. Christ.
But she had to pull out because her dog was sick. She called me, let me know, but she wasn't even.
The dog got into her mushrooms.
In the trailer, we had Negative XP from pretty early on, but I didn't want to make that publicly known because he's got a history of.
That's the artist, right? The guy who made Scott Pilgrim ruined a whole generation of women. His music's not too bad.
People showing up and causing trouble at his events, and I just kept him as a surprise guest, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing with Curtis Yarvin.
Was he there at the event?
Yeah, he was on one of the panels. I mean, we have all the panels on the stream. I should probably clip those, and I probably will soon. But there was a total of 4 panels. One of them was Ariel Pink and Negative XP, and also this local DJ. It was a panel about artists of the digital renaissance. And Destiny was meant to be on the final panel with Curtis Yarvin, and I'd spoken with both of them. They both were interested. They were both down. Curtis was there. He showed up. day of, I get a message from Destiny on Discord that, and keep in mind, I've been emailing him this whole time with his full itinerary, paying for everything, getting him a room, getting him the bookings. And he tells me that there's something personal that came up in New York, sends me like
basically he says, I ain't showing up to that shit. I ain't showing up to that motherfucking shit.
like a frowny face, and he's like, can't make it. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'll be there tomorrow or something. I'm like, okay. So, last minute, we just end up having Curtis Yarvin and Louis Rossman. Rossman got on actually because of the trailer. I emailed him after, and he was like, oh yeah, that's fine. As long as you're willing to cover the flight, I might be interested anyway. So that ended up
the other
out.
guests, Wang and Rusty. What about those guys?
Wang was never invited, and he was never told.
Joke.
No, he was not a joke. He was.
Then why did you put him in the trailer?
The visual that was brought up when I was talking about individuals creating great things on their own on the internet.
Okay.
I have a quick question, if you don't mind, and I'm not saying this is a gotcha or anything, or to like embarrass you or whatever. But I noticed that the IRL turnout was noticeably low. Was that basically what you expected, or were you expecting sort of?
That's pretty nicely, Tom. The IRL showing was a bit low, aka no one showed up other than the panelists and some of the security guys.
Bigger turnout.
I didn't know what to expect. That's why we had the security. It was really hard to gauge because I intentionally kept the address out of all of the online promotion for this.
Yeah. For an event you want people to show up to, knowing the address is kind of an important deal, right? It's kind of an important thing. Now, this is the question for the viewers at home. Which would you say was a more fuck up? Was it Crater Clash 2 or was it Lightwave? Now I think that's an interesting question, right? Because people showed up to Crater Clash 2, but it was a dog shit event, right? Whereas like no one showed up to Lightwave, right? And it's still a dog shit event. See, these are the philosophical questions we ask here on Nerdy Live.
And that was always the case, right up until the actual day of the event as well. I never let the address leak because, again, I wanted to avoid. I felt like it was.
In all seriousness, I get wanting to avoid unnecessary stuff like potential swattings, bomb threats, trolls, but that's why you have the security. Is for that stuff. You let the local police department of the town that you're hosting in know about the situation, right? So that way that kind of stuff can be avoided. So that way, like, you can still have a turnout on your event, but still be prepared in case anything happens, right? Because, like, if you're going to spend, like, an extra $4,000 on security and then not show the address to your live event, then there's no point in having the security.
A delicate situation where I have somebody like Negative XP and Ariel Pink, who are both these highly controversial artists in their own right, Curtis Yarvin as well, and I was planning on Destiny being there. So it was sort of like this powder keg of...
Like, were these guys supposed to tell their audiences? Like, hypothetically, let's say all the YouTubers and artists that are shown in the trailer come to the event, right? Are they responsible for telling their audiences where the address is then? So that way people can show up, or you made it very for anyone who's starting an event or just starting anything. You want to make it simple for people to get into it, so that way you can get people through the door. You don't want to overcomplicate things, because if you overcomplicate a new thing for someone, they're just not going to use it or be a part of it. Like for example, right? Like obviously, like, older people had a harder time using the newer technology when it came out. But like Imagine if like the first generation of like smartphones was super complicated to use. No one would purchase them, right? No one would purchase a smartphone. No one, and we wouldn't have a Galaxy S24 or the iPhone 16, that type of stuff. If the product, or in this case the event, wasn't simplified. You can't make things difficult for your potential market or user base. Again, this is a clear-cut example of Glink not fully thinking things out. Again, I understand. This is something I actually can understand him on, is like you're bringing controversial people into one room for a live debate or discussion, and you're worried about people like wanting to disrupt it in any way. I get it, but again, that's why you hire the security, so that way they can deal with all that stuff. And you let the police know, so that way they can be up to date on like any fake swattings or any fake bomb threats that's happening, etc.
Somewhat controversial people who've actually had history of like being at events that were somewhat rowdy because of whether it's their political leanings or whatever expressions they've made online, different things, right?
And why'd you set up all the rows of chairs then? What was that all about?
Well, I'm getting to that. So on one hand, there's this
getting to that mood. Jesus Christ!
Powder keg of people who, might attract the wrong crowd if we make the event too public and let the address be known publicly. But on the other hand, we do want people to show up, and we do want to fill up this venue, which was quite large. So I was thinking of doing local advertising. So just getting people from the local area to show up, which we did. Just not as many as I was hoping for. I don't think we put up enough flyers or made them as eye-catching as we should have. Should have just said open bar at 5 p.m. and put the address, and probably we would have filled up all the seats. But
true.
What are you going to do? Because we did have the open bar at 5 p.m.
Right.
And Destiny did show up, by the way, at day 2 at the carnival, Lightwave Carnival. He did, yeah.
Oh, this thing had a carnival? Christ.
He did. I shook his hand. I don't know. Apparently he was talking,
So he showed up to Austin,
talking
Texas
about me, but
doesn't he live in Florida?
I don't know where he lives, but he showed up. Yeah.
I believe
he lives in Miami.
Yeah, Miami.
We talked,
So he showed up to the event on the second day, the day that wasn't recorded, and also the day that he didn't have a panel in.
No, it was recorded just on camera, not on stream.
But you said you should. Did he like participate in any like panel on the second day or something like?
There was no panel. Second day wasn't a panel.
It was just partying.
It was a party day.
It was a live band performing.
Damn, don't you feel like he kind of like screwed you over there? If he shows up for the party day, but not for the day where like
yeah,
panels
sure,
are going
but I'm
on.
not calling him out. I mean, I don't care.
He clearly does care. Especially if you make a video 2 years later talking about Muda.
Whatever, but don't think it looks bad on me though, because I was doing everything professionally, quote unquote, that I had to. I confirmed everything with him, and he won't tell you otherwise. I know he's honest enough to say that. Like if you ask him, he'll tell you, yeah, like something just came up, he couldn't make it, and that's what I'm telling you now too.
Okay.
So it is what it is. It happens.
I'm
Life
not drama
happens. We
baiting.
make
I'm
it
just
work.
fucking asking, like.
No, I know, but the point is, like with the trailer and with all of this, is to pull something like this off, you have to take some risks, and you can't necessarily overplan. I think that's true of any venture in life. Is you have to have some flexibility, leave some room for being flexible and like changing things on the spot if need be, which is what we did with the last panel entirely, where it said Destiny was going to be there, and we instead had Rossman, Ben Woosley, and Curtis Yarvin on a panel together. But it worked, and there was an interesting conversation had, I think. I mean, the whole point is that it's not this highly structured event. To go back to that point about corporate structure and all that, is like even the panels, which we had a timeline, we had a schedule, we had guests, we had topics, we had speakers, we had all that planned. Yeah, but honestly, at future events, at future things like this, it'd be cool to just have like an open mic where people can respectfully like air out their conversations on a public basis somewhat. That would be interesting. That would be cool. I would listen to that, like a public podcast almost. I don't know.
Are you going to be doing a? Yeah. I was about to ask. Are you going to do Lightwave 2 next year?
There will be subsequent events. My focus right now is to make this documentary and see how it translates. I think it's going to be an interesting story, but we'll see how I tell it because I'm still not done with it. But after that, I'll kind of gauge where I'm at. But I'll tell you this: there is like a.
So yeah, I think we got a general idea on what what exactly was going on in his head, right? So let's bring it back to the video he has on. Oh, I did not link it in the doc. Mistake. All right, let's go to Glink's channel. Glink's channel. Okay, there we go. Glink's channel. And here we go. Lightwave story time. And it's 27 minutes long. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be fun. Again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe for more content such as this. But let's get into the story, shall we? Let's listen to Glink's perspective.
Mutahar got,
Oh, he's doing an intro.
What a nice
so cool.
day. Beautiful, sunny. The only thing that could make it better would be listening to some negative XP on the drive. Man, I can't believe we brought him out to Austin. That was like a dream come true. Can't believe it's been 2 years since Lightwave. Good times.
No, it was not good times. It was not good times. I mean, it was good times for everyone else who was laughing at you, but...
It's also been 2 years since that video.
The fake festival. Oh, you can tell how salty he is. You can tell. He's so salty.
I guess not everyone saw it that way. But you know, now that the dust has settled, maybe it's finally time.
It's finally time to strike back at Muda. Looking back at some ordinary gamers. This is a retrospective, man.
Hey everybody, how's it going? There are 3 major points I'm going to cover with this video. First, I'm going to go over Ordinary Gamer's video and show you how through his own
the deconstruction of Ordinary Gamers
words and his own actions in his video, he's proven himself to be dishonest and uncredible despite claiming to be some sort of objective reporter. Secondly, I'm going to explain the true story behind Lightwave, or really just the bullet points of what it was, how it came to be, and what actually happened at the event. Third, and finally, towards the end of this video, I'm going to explain why all this matters now, about 2 years later, and what I've learned from this experience. Although it's 40 minutes long, there's not actually a whole lot of substance in Ordinary Gamer's video. But, out of respect for you, the viewer, I've boiled down his video to only the most essential points.
AKA the guy. Let me sum up this video real quick. Is I'm salty. My YouTube friend didn't like my event and made fun of me kinda in his video. That's what it boils. That's what this boils down to essentially, is the fact that he's mad that Muda wasn't gung-ho about his event.
And pretty soon we're just gonna get through all of the claims and all of the questions he brought up. But before we even get to the content of the video itself, one of the most important things is actually the title and thumbnail. Now, couple that with this key...
The YouTube disaster you never heard of, and he says, the fake festival.
Statement that Ordinary Gamers makes about halfway through the video.
A few people in various Discord communities caught wind that I was going to be making a video, and more so a hit piece on this event. Now on a personal level, I consider that shit really offensive because I don't make hit pieces. I research and I make the most objective video and take that I can, and I leave all those judgments up to you, the viewer. Look, obviously there's a story to these videos, but I want these videos to be more of a repository of information.
In his own words, this video is not a hit piece. It's an objective.
but it was on my event and it's a hit piece. Ooh.
Sort of journalistic report. And that means that this title thumbnail, which says that this was a disaster and that it was,
man. No one showed up. No one showed up to your shitty event. What do you...
the fake festival.
The guest that you tried actually booking, Destiny didn't bother showing up. You spent an extra $40K on security that was not needed. Dude, the live event footage like tells the story of itself. I get that it's hard for you to hear that, man. That you like what was essentially like your baby failed, but it did. Objectively speaking, it did. Like, and you know what? I'm glad. I'm super happy that you had a good time at your event. You know, be pretty sad if you didn't. But objectively speaking, it did fail.
The content of the video should substantiate that claim, given that it's not a hit piece. Well, I'm ready to have these things proven right by the video. Let's take a look.
Oh, defamation. Oh, God, we got another defamation thing. Let's go. Is Glenn going to sue some ordinary gamers? I would love it if that was the case. Please, Glenn, try to sue Muda. I need to see that. I need more content.
Oh, did YouTube Autoplay bring you here? Well, before you run away, let me remind you of an amazing new shoe brand called Vessi, ladies and gentlemen. Vessi is a...
Well, at least he knows his audience. So the first 2 minutes are...
How dare Muda have an ad read in a video? How corporate of him. Ain't that right? By the way, guys, make sure you use gamer subs. I for legal purposes, I do not have a gamer sub sponsorship. Not yet. Hit me up, gamer subs. I'm just saying.
Just this Chinese shoe company advertisement.
A few weeks ago, I was in California having a good old Christian Minecraft server of a time with some close friends, and I was attending VidCon.
The next minute and a half of the video is Ordinary Gamers explaining that he was hanging out at VidCon getting sloshed with his friends.
Entire weekend, I was incredibly...
Is that you? Do I hear some slight judgment, some judgmental energy coming from you? I'm sorry that he didn't partake in the approved activity of having mushroom-filled orgies. I'm sorry he didn't partake in that activity with you. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what the whole thing stems from, is that Glink offered Muda and his wife to participate in a mushroom orgy and they didn't partake. That's the real reason why Glink is mad. Honestly, man, I get it. You know, you thought you were being a cool guy by offering them to join your mushroom orgy. They said no. I get it, man. That's a huge insult.
Sloshed to remember the entire thing. And as far as the convention went, I think I showed up for like 20 minutes because they had this Fall Guy stand and I absolutely had to be there right present to take a photo with it. And I guess today the question can be, can and should YouTubers run events?
Oh. I know my answer to this. No, they shouldn't. YouTubers are not event organizers.
So this question is posed about 3 minutes and 30 seconds into Ordinary Gamer's video.
Thank you for sharing us the timestamp. I'm sure that's very crucial to your point. You see, in frame 24 is when he starts asking this question. No one gives a fuck. Just talk about your fucking point, Jesus.
Should YouTubers run events? And this takes a very journalistic, very objective, open-ended tone to the video. So far it seems professional.
Is his thing going to be, well, you see, Muda claims this is objective, but here he is saying that my event is me poo poo face. And so, therefore, not objective, therefore, rip bozo, I win. Is that going to be the point? Guys, did I just call the point? I feel like that's gonna be the point. And if so, this is gonna be a very painful 20 minutes. Very, very painful 20 minutes. But needless to say, let's continue onwards.
By now, I'm sure some of you have heard about the massive event known as Lightwave, a
festival held in Austin, Texas, run by the YouTuber Glink, most notably known for documentaries in the Super Smash community, criticism of OnlyFans, and...
Also, wait. 400... He was over 400k subscribers. Now he's at 386k. Did he lose a bunch of subscribers from this event, or did something else happen? Because, like, that's a pretty decent chunk of your subscriber count that just left. Oh God, he's doing I didn't pay attention to his analytics before this. Jesus, he's lost a huge chunk of viewership. Why? Okay, we have the Lightwave event, and then afterwards, Zoomers in virtual reality, throwing a party to find my purpose, 22k, dude. These are, especially if you're not doing like, if you're trying to take your time with content, and you're not just doing like daily commentary slosh, like. You can be like a 300 I'm not this big. I'm not open to those analytics, right? But I'm assuming theoretically, right? If you're like a daily commentary channel and you have like 350,000 subscribers, right? And you know, you're not getting the best viewership, but like you can maintain something like 60k, 33k. I mean, this one video has over 100k, which, I mean, that's good for him. But like, if you're someone who's like an auteur, right? You're an auteur, and you try to take your time with videos. Influencers are the modern day cult leaders. Oh, I remember wanting to cover this video, but I ended up not doing that. But yeah, like, and okay, this is me seriously not trying to like add fuel to the fire, but like something had to have happened here. Like, other than Lightwave, something had to have happened here where he just like lost a shit ton of subscribers, and it couldn't have been because like the right leaning stuff, because like he's pretty open about that in his content. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to like look into this further when it comes to that sort of stuff. But like, what happened to him is my question. I mean, if I could somehow interview him, I would love to ask the reason why all this went down. Cause like, I mean, it's not like the biggest drop off, right? Because like he still has like a decent chunk of subscribers, but like still to be at 2 years ago being around 400k subscribers, right? And then losing all of that, well, not all of it, but like a decent chunk. Like, something else had to happen other than just like the Lightwave stuff.
And discovering of homeless people who live in Skid Row. And believe it or not, to grace the influencer scene. Just
watching the trailer itself is a complete fever dream. It starts with quick cuts and establishes itself as a convergence of artists and engineers.
The trailer is...
But, and also too, like, the trailer is made up of stuff from like other events. Like, there's nothing there to showcase Lightwave itself. It's just Glink in a warehouse yelling, and then like he shows clips of like other of other events and other performers that didn't show up.
Is indeed a fever dream, and that was the intention. I wanted it.
You see, I actually did like a 300 IQ move by making the trailer that way.
To be kind of crazy. I wanted it to be unpredictable, and
I get you want your trailer to be eye-catching, but like, I don't know, maybe you should have like talked to someone who like has like some kind of marketing background with your trailer, because it's great that you see it as a success, but no one else did.
A little bit ambiguous, and most of the footage from the trailer is stuff I filmed myself, so it's not like I was completely making these things up. These were different events that I'd gone to, that I based the planning of.
But that's not what Lightwave was. It's great that you have footage of like other events that you went to, but that, I don't know, it might not technically be false advertisement, but when you show stuff in the trailer that's not gonna be in Lightwave or what Lightwave will be, it feels like false advertisement, you know?
Lightwave. Did it backfire? In some ways, a little bit, but in other ways,
I would say in every way it backfired.
Was successful, and I'll be explaining that.
And again, it wasn't success. It's Glink. It's great that you had a good time at your event and everything, right? You didn't have to worry about the mean people showing up and ruin everything. But dude, I feel like he's kind of living in a delusional. He's living in some sort of la la land that just does not exist, where Lightwave was this massive success and everyone loved it. No one did. Other than like, I guess you can say like the hardcore fans that watched your live stream, but like none of your hardcore fans showed up to the event.
As we get to more of the,
partly because you made it difficult to find the place where it was being held. I'm sure if he was more open about it with his community, maybe not necessarily broadcasting it straight away, but like does he have a Patreon? Did he have a Patreon? I mean, he has a Discord. Like maybe like with like people in your Discord server being like, hey, be prepared. We're going to do this event at such and such location, get ready for that. I'm sure you would have had a few hardcore fans show up, but like, again, dude, it wasn't a success.
Content of the event.
Or do something basic like getting, your shared space where there are.
So then he's like talking about my business card and just some of the more marketing related to the event. And we're at this point almost 10 minutes in, and so far there's been no indication that the event is a disaster or fake.
Well, it's a 40-minute video. Muda is sort of like a slow burn with his content, right? Like, for example, like the completionist stuff. He didn't straight up right away, said everything was a complete charity fraud scam, right? No, he showed the evidence for it slowly, so that way you can fully understand and take in what he has to say. If Muda showed like all the stuff with Lightwave at once, it would have confused a lot of viewers, I feel.
It was told to the online audience, basically you and me watching right now, who weren't in Austin at all, that this event was to be streamed live on YouTube, Odyssey, Rokefin, right? That's where we were going to watch the event. So we were never ever given a date whatsoever by Greg, and it was supposed to be meant that...
Okay, he misspoke here. I gave a date, I didn't give an address. And that's something I could talk about more at length later, but the short, I was a little bit concerned with guests like Destiny and Negative XP, who I had heard had this kind of political controversy.
Well, at that point, if you're worried about people showing up to cause a disturbance at your live event, you might as well hold it virtually at that point. I'm sorry, but like the whole thing about a live event is that you're hosting it so that way fans can interact with you, so that way fans can like maybe ask questions during a panel, or like see the discussion unfold in front of them. If you're not going to share the address, if you're not going to let people come to your live event unless they're local in that area, who, let's be honest, other than like maybe because like obviously he probably had like a few fans in like the Austin, Texas area, but like you're not gonna get a huge turnout because I bet you a lot of the local people were probably like really confused on what the hell the event was even supposed to be.
And some disruptors at previous events. And remember, this was right shortly after restrictions from COVID were lifted, and the political tensions were still somewhat high. And I was just, I don't know, maybe paranoid, maybe just overly concerned, but I really wanted to limit the amount of random people that would find out about this and show up from an online audience. Maybe that's my bad. Maybe I should have trusted my audience more. I should have been more transparent, but it wasn't disrupted, but maybe after the fact it was defamed.
The date that Greg picked to run this live stream ended up being the weekend of VidCon, right? The weekend where most of the social media personalities, if they had to go out to a convention from all over the world, were going to be in Los Angeles.
And keep in mind, a lot of the people who are not in like the Los Angeles area, right? Usually they book their stuff like months in advance. So you're not going to get a whole lot of people showing up because you would have had to have let them known prior to them even booking stuff for the VidCon trip that, hey, I'm going to be doing this event. And it seems like maybe I'm wrong on this, but it didn't seem like you were planning this very well ahead of time.
Angeles, California.
So I guess every social media influencer and every creator online is going to be in Los Angeles, California for VidCon. If they make videos, if they're an actor, if they have any influence at all, you can bet your bottom dollar they're going to be in Anaheim, California for VidCon.
Okay, obviously not every single creator, but the people that you were showing off in your trailer are going to be at VidCon, dude. And I'm sorry, but more people showed up to the VidCon parties than to your event, so I don't know what that says, man.
Woo! VidCon 2025, let's go! VidCon 2026, let's go! Nobody gives a fuck about VidCon. Every time he mentions VidCon, it's a complete red herring. It has nothing to do. But
it does, though, because people were... Okay, we've known this for years. The YouTubers don't go to VidCon for VidCon itself. They go for the party, so that way they can smoke weed and get drunk with their online friends, IRL. But it's still a process of them, like, again, booking flights, renting hotels, Airbnbs, whatever they have to do, right? And you're not giving them, again, Glink, you weren't giving them heads up that you were doing this event. You were just kind of winging it. And so, yeah. The people you mentioned in your trailer, like Wang, Boogie, I don't think Boogie at that point had money for the event. He was spending too much on hookers. But still, like, you make this big deal that no one actually shows up to VidCon, but like no one showed up to your stuff, man.
With other events, okay? It's VidCon, man.
I ended up coming back home to my house just to watch this thing on the big screen. Now at this point, all of our friends were just sitting on the couch watching this whole thing, and I realized that I was personally in the wrong place.
Okay, so hold up. Ordinary Gamers is in his house with his friends, and on the big screen,
his wife, yeah,
they have Lightwave that I streamed from my channel. So they not only were they aware of this event, they were prepared, they were glued to the TV.
What Glink doesn't understand, like this was literally, hang on, but like, bro, okay, it's unfortunately, like, I don't think I can go that far back in Jen's, like, or her Twitter history, but like, I think this is literally just like a shit post. This is just a shit post she made for her Twitter account. Muda's wife just made this video for a lulz, dude, and you're trying to deep analyze this. What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you, motherfucker? He's like, see, they claim they didn't know about my event, but here they are watching it. It's like, yeah, as a joke.
TV screen watching it. Okay, well, that's sounds like he's pretty dedicated. Sounds like,
ooh, you got him, Glink. You got him. You got him, boy. Glink W, guys. Glink W in chat. Can we get one? Can we get ones in the chat for Glink? He got the massive W. Victory Royale on Muta. Muta.
It's like he's pretty invested.
I should have dragged my engineer ass all the way to Austin, Texas to attend the meeting of the minds.
This is a fucking tragedy.
Well, because Ordinary Gamers made up his mind in the first panel that the event is a tragedy, he's now going to convince his viewers for the next 40 minutes.
Oh my god, he said a joke? He said a joke? Muta, you're not allowed to make jokes. Muta, how dare you make a joke about Lightwave? You know what? I bet you this took him 2 years to do because he had to take 2 years to like think of comebacks for Muta's stuff. Jesus Christ.
That it is a tragedy. Let's see how he does.
A missed opportunity, and so I just resorted to watching the YouTube live stream. And after about wasting an hour with my friends, thankfully we all made brief appearances in the 8-hour affair. Thanks again to Prox, by the way.
Okay, so wait. This video really took a turn though, because we started off with should YouTubers run events, and now it's at the camera of my
Glink, you have no right. You are in no position to talk about something being disjointed. Nah, my man. You can't complain about something being disjointed when yeah, it's supposed to be confusing. Like that's just how it is, man. What if Muta just poured that Uno reverse and just like, yo, actually, man, it's actually like supposed to be like that, man. It's like so that way like you can have a deeper meaning behind it, man. Like think about it. Muta, I know you're a longtime viewer of Nerdy Live. Please make a response video to this. I need to see this.
Event that streaming the event is being obscured by a phone that shows Ordinary Gamers and his friend at VidCon, and that's.
Thank you for putting us up there.
In the video where he's claiming that the event was a tragedy, like maybe he wanted it to be a tragedy. That's what I'm getting from.
Oh, Glink's like, you were preying on my downfall, man. That's what you were doing. You were preying on my downfall. Let's see. Is he trying to insinuate here that whoever the fuck this is who showed the picture of like Muta and his friend at VidCon? Was this like an op? Was this all planned out to ruin Glink's event? So is that what he's trying to say here?
From this.
Of Lightwave, it consisted of 4 panels. Right to Repair with guest Louis Rossman, who actually did show up, did his speech, and overall had an actual interesting panel. Louis is a great content.
Now, this is where things get really weird, because I've learned through this video that to some YouTubers, there's a feature where they can actually go back, edit videos, and add parts to published videos. I mean, everyone can trim parts away, but some YouTubers can actually add edited parts to their video, and this is one of them. Because in the original video, Ordinary Gamers got something wrong about Louis Rossman being paid $1 million by a tech investor to come to the event. Let me just clarify my extent of being involved with this tech investor and Louis Rossman. It's pretty simple.
Hang on. I think I reacted to this video back in the day. Be too far back now, I think, to talk about it. But first off, I don't even think you had $1 million for the for the event. I think you had a chewed up piece of gum and a ham sandwich for the event. So why did Muta say if I'm taking you at your word, why did Muta say that he got paid $1 million?
I didn't have an open source tech idea, but I had an idea to host an event and bring creators, because there's a lack of interesting and organic places to hang out and collaborate with other creators.
It just sounds like, also too, this just sounds like you want to do a podcast. Like, just have a podcast, like the Joe Rogan Experience, right? Where you just bring on a bunch of like philosophical potheads. Because like clearly you're not interested in an actual live event. Because if you were interested in an actual live event, you would have actual audience members at your live event. You clearly just want to have a podcast where you can live stream and have discussions with philosophers. Which, I mean, if you want to do that, do that. I think this just was horribly mismanaged.
And this tech investor, out of respect, he probably doesn't want his name brought up, but he was into the idea. He gave me $25,000 as a blank check to host this event. And then after the trailer and some of the confusing responses to the trailer, his company decided to just pull out and disassociate from the event. But
so are you blaming people now for not getting your event because they decided to pull out? Because I'm sorry, dude, but like if you have money backing your event, you probably should make a more coherent message with your stuff.
But I still had the budget to work with. Louis Rossmann left a comment on the video trailer, and he sounded a little bit confused himself. So I reached out to him via email, and I let him know that.
You see, like this is like your whole point earlier was like, yeah, it was supposed to be confusing, but like you're confusing the people that are being associated with Lightwave. Don't you think that's a misstep? Because like if you have to send messages and emails to the people that are associating with the Lightwave event, if you have to clarify stuff to them, is that even a win? Like, is that a successful live event if you have to constantly clarify with people about the intentions and the format of your event? Greetings, Mr. Rosman. I included you in the trailer with a big question mark and a low-quality PNG image as a goof, but I would be honored if you attend this event, and I'm hosting in Austin, Texas, next weekend called Lightwave. What is Lightwave? It is far too common for big influencers to sell out to corporate-friendly politics and content, while the individuals making interesting content are segmented into their own corners of the internet where they grow a niche audience of followers that have little to no intentions with other bubbles of community. Lightwave brings together artists and engineers, local and distant, to one meeting point where people that envisioned a future of autonomy, free expression, and meaningful connections can gather. Okay. Maybe you should have, before making the trailer, maybe you should have sent this out to him before then, like Destiny, what was the name? Kurtzman, whatever. But this is the email you sent out to people to see if they can sign on, right? You don't just release the trailer and have them all confused and then you explain it to them. Again, this is why people view Lightwave as a failure. I mean, I guess it's good that you don't, but again, other people really do.
That I had every intention of bringing him out to do some panels and to take care of his flight and accommodations. And he was down. So he ended up coming to the event. He ended up having a good time. And eventually he ended up moving his business from New York to Austin. And he did meet the investor while in Austin. So there was no involvement, no talk of $1 million being exchanged anywhere along that. Even if Rossman, took $1 million from this investor, that's not selling out. That's just a business deal. That's just moving your business.
Yeah, man, that's not selling out. That's just a business deal. Oh, but like it's selling out to do like the Raycon ad, but I digress.
From New York to somewhere new, to Texas, which is where it still operates today. So yeah, that was how Lightwave got started, and that's how I contacted Rossman, and pretty much all the other panelists were the same way.
content can go anywhere else. YouTube can kick you off at any moment. Obviously, that's the deal you make when you actually create an account here. Unless you know how to learn and diversify your platforms and brand, you have no one to blame but yourself. Again, did you really need a whole panel to tell you that? Didn't think so.
Hey, don't like YouTube? Use another website.
Finally, the last panel was, are there any political solutions? Arguably, this was the most fucking boring panel of them all. People thought...
Well, you see, I thought all the panels were boring. But, you know, I'm just a small-brained individual, you know, who can't see the bigger picture. Outside some goofs. Like, again, if you find these subjects interesting, more power to you. But I think Glink... he overestimated how interested people would be about this, but I'm sorry, man. It's very how do I put this? Very cringe. All this is very cringe. Very cringe, lad. Very cringe.
Well, you know, that's a shame, Ordinary Gamers, that you didn't like the panel, and you know, I wish it could have been better for your tastes, but hey, elsewhere on YouTube, that exact same panel has 31K views.
But not on your own, but not on your channel? I mean, I guess it's fantastic that somewhere 31,000 people viewed that video, but like it didn't translate well for your event.
And
also too, like not Eugenia Cooney. What's that? The Colleen Ballinger's apology video. Probably has like 1 million, 2 million views. That doesn't mean everyone's like highly interested in her. Maybe something fucking happened here, right? And it's just boring. People make fun of it. Who knows?
Some of the comments sound positive. People are saying, absolutely, the crossover we didn't know we needed. I would never thought I would see Curtis Yarvin along with Louis Rossman. Wow, the world really is a lot smaller than you think. So some people are enjoying it. I'm sorry you didn't, but...
I mean, okay, that's great that people liked it. But like, again, this really didn't translate... This clearly didn't translate well for you. Because people weren't enjoying it in the moment. I vaguely remember the live chat. A lot of people were kind of making fun of this event as it was going on. Maybe again, it seems like you're more interested in just like, again, not necessarily having a live audience, but having these discussions. In which case, just do a fucking podcast. Just have a podcast. Invest in like a nice studio with some high quality 4K cameras. Live stream it if you want, but you know you don't have to worry about people coming in and disturbing your event. This is like. Again, it's great. It's great that the clip did well on another person's channel. But it's clear you're not marketing this. You're not marketing this the right way. You're not approaching this the right way. I reemphasize, just do a podcast, man. It's clearly what you want to do.
Disaster,
you're just like, instead of making a right turn, you're just making 3 lefts. That's what you're doing.
Fake festival, just more of your opinion.
Point that he could.
And according to Prox, it may have seemed like Destiny could have flipped on a stream and realized maybe it wasn't worth showing up, even though that apparently he was in fact in Austin for the day 1 of Lightwave stream.
Destiny was in Austin when this was going on, and he cut the cord. I think he might have seen...
Well, that's just a really shitty thing to do, and yeah, it makes me lose a lot of respect for Destiny.
Between all these panels, there were various intermissions, numerous performances filmed at completely brain-dead angles, and many, and I mean many, shots of empty chairs.
That shot of empty chairs taken at the start of the event And the brain dead shot of musical performances was by Prox, the same person who showed his phone.
Oh, this is all sabotage on you. That's right, Glink. This is all purposely done to sabotage you. You finally hit it. You finally hit it, man. This is all a gay op. This is all a gay op done by some ordinary gamer so that he could take away your credibility from you. It was all planned out. I was there at the Cabal meetings when this happened, man. I know everything. We all sat around and we were like, yo, whose career do we ruin next? And everyone unanimously agreed. It was you, Glink. Matt Pitt was Mac Pitt, he's the Cabal leader. So he made the final decision to ruin your live event. That's what happened. I can confirm this happened, totally for realsies.
And a picture of ordinary gamers. So,
oh yeah, this is all planned from the start. Oh, this just shows how pathetic this all was.
I don't even know what to say to that. That's just kind of sums it all up, doesn't it?
Roughly after I woke up hours later, after a night of bar hopping with the boys, I was excited to see day 2. Was it going to be streamed? Only to realize it never ever happened. According to Greg, this was a recorded affair for a documentary he'll be releasing at some point in the near future.
I have all the footage from the day 2 thing.
By the way, did he ever release that? I'm scrolling through the channel. I didn't see anything relating to that.
That wasn't streamed, but that's going to be in the...
When I don't stream something, it becomes more private, and just the people who are there actually physically can appreciate it, or if they don't appreciate it, they can let me know. But to have the online sort of peanut gallery...
But like, the event was like, it's a 2-day live event. That's how you advertised it. I mean, if you were just up front being like, hey, the day 1 with all the panels, that's going to be a live stream event. And then day 2 is just going to be for like the people there. If you were more upfront about that, more power to you. But the way Lightwave was advertised was it was going to be a 2-day live event. That's how it was marketed.
Every time. Yeah, it's not always very pleasant, and I want to bridge that gap so that people online and in real life can both enjoy and appreciate something, but it's not easy to do, and this is one reason why.
And I know the story doesn't even come close to ending there, because now it's time to burrow, twist the knife in, and see what Lightwave actually was about. All right, actually what it could have been, what it seems to be about.
Wow, this is great objective reporting, ordinary gamers.
You see, this like he's hung up on like every single micro word that Muda says. Like, he's not delving into any of Muda's actual points. He's just like, actually, real objective reporting there, Muda. Actually.
Totally not a hit piece at all. I can't see why anyone would think this. How?
Of information. I'm not going to kick someone when they're absolutely down. And like I've mentioned, okay, if I haven't mentioned it already, it takes serious balls to run a convention like this, or a festival. Even if this wasn't a success in my barometer, at least it actually happened. Regardless of what anybody wants to say about Glink, the actual event happened, which means it's better than all the other YouTuber events that didn't,
I think a statement like this...
He basically gave you a gold star for effort. That's the nicest thing he said in the video. A for effort there, buddy.
Is almost worse than a flat out lie, because it's so disingenuous and it disarms people who might have...
He basically said, look, son, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
Normally had a critical eye and who might have been listening critically. I had YouTuber friends and other personal friends start watching the video and be like, wow, he's really tearing into you here. And then they get to this point and they just message me like, oh, actually, it's not too bad. He kind of gave you some props at the end, and it's not bad. Great.
No, because then you can't paint it as like a totally like malicious evil thing. And so Muda saying, "Hey, I mean, at least you tried it, When Muda gives you a softball like that, you can't totally paint it as like an evil thing now. That's the issue. That's the issue you're having there, is you can't paint Muda as like this totally evil person now. Really sucks.
What value does that have when the takeaway most viewers have who don't know me, who don't care to hear out the nuanced details, is going to be that this is a fake event, fake, disaster, all that stuff. It's just going to damage my reputation, defame me to the majority of viewers, while again, somewhat disarming and misdirecting people who might have given an actual critique towards ordinary gamers, but because he's throwing me some bones, it's okay. He's throwing you some bones. Yeah, just completely disingenuous.
Preface: for the privacy of the whistleblowers, I'm blurring out dates and names to prevent any trace of who leaked what, okay?
Okay, then Ordinary Gamers goes on this harebrained tangent about this birthday invitation that me and Kino Corner wrote up as a joke, basically sending out to some YouTuber friends we knew. So it really has nothing to do with Lightwave at all. For the rest of the video, Ordinary Gamers goes on to attack me personally as some sort of drug abuser, even though none of the references I've made about psychedelics have any relation to Lightwave.
Bullshit.
And the planning of it.
Greg's
I call
psychedelic
bullshit. I call bullshit there, motherfucker.
history has been building up in the last few months, where he's created such bangers like 10 Steps to Having a Good Trip, Ego Tripping at the River of Life. This is your brain on psychedelics. Now, I want to stop here and say that I don't share the same beliefs of psychedelics or drugs in general. I try to keep that stuff to an absolute minimum. I like living my life lucid and not under the influence of anything at all.
Oh my, is he gonna play the clip where he's just like, yo, I was getting sloshed with the boys?
At this point in the night, I was doing shots with the...
Oh, what's that? You don't like mushrooms, but you get drunk? Hypocrite much? Now, obviously speaking, alcohol and mushrooms can affect you in some very negative ways if you do not manage them properly. That being said, I haven't seen any information that Mudahar is an alcoholic. At least I hope not. Maybe he is now. Who knows? But to say that, and there's another discussion you can have about the normalization of alcohol and the alienation of people who do drugs. But I mean, there is something very different from like getting together with friends that you haven't seen in a while, getting drunk, and then like not repeating that process. Whereas like someone else who like microdoses daily, I'm not saying to clarify, I'm not saying Link does that necessarily, but there's an obvious difference between someone who like once in a while drinks and someone who more regularly consumes mushrooms to open up their third eye,
boys, and I was plastered so hard off my ass, so honestly I couldn't even begin to tell you anything past that. You gotta ask Prox or somebody who actually was at the convention. Look, it's a long stream, I'm not gonna be there for the whole few hours, okay?
Oh, here we go. It really happened. Last 9 minutes. Let's go.
The biggest blunder of the event, if you could even call it that, was just the lack of attendance in person, and I equate that to
it was the lack of live attendances. It was, you were a laughing stock for a little bit there, man. Like, again, it's great you don't see it that way, but to everyone else who was watching that, it looked like a massive train wreck.
me not managing the budget properly. If I were to go back, I would have probably used a good amount of the budget to advertise on Instagram, on social media, that we would be hosting this free event in town. Instead, I did kind of waste some time and energy making these posters, putting them around town, not really accomplishing much. So that was the one thing, like, if more people showed up in person, which would not have been hard. We had an open bar. We had, it was free to attend. It was in a central location. It's just, I was one person managing the bookings, managing the planning, the branding, all this different stuff for the event. And I just wasn't at 100% capacity when it came to the actual advertising and getting people to show up in person. But it's been 2 years, and there are many clips from Lightwave that have tens of thousands of views, like the one I mentioned of Rossman and Curtis Yarvin, but also clips from different panels of the artists of Negative XP, of Negative XP's performance. Many people in.
Well, yeah, that's a live concert event. Like, if you're a fan of Negative XP and you're searching out like clips of him at live events, especially if he doesn't do them often, yeah, that's gonna get views, But like, the sad thing is, they're not. At that point, people aren't there for Lightwave; they're there for Negative XP. Like, the closest thing I can use to relate to this is the interview I have with Jay, the former editor of Review Tech USA. That clip, like that highlight clip, has 16K views. I'm proud of it, being that it was used in a video essay with hundreds of thousands of views, but people went to that clip for Jay, and some people stayed for me, but obviously the vast majority of people who watched that clip aren't unfortunately going to stick around, and like that's something you partly have to realize.
Enjoy these videos and got something out of it, and that to me is more meaningful than any amount of negative press or hit pieces come.
And by the way, I want to clarify, if this is something Link is passionate about, he should continue to pursue this. But then he also, I feel like he also shouldn't be getting this upset over people not understanding his events or his planning or his way of thinking, especially when you don't communicate them in the best way. Like, I'm sorry, dude, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, you can't have like this super confusing, complicated way of marketing your event and like disjointed ways of communicating your ideas for it, and then expect everyone to understand what you're trying to get at.
Coming from big YouTube channels like Ordinary Gamers. The first mistake Ordinary Gamers made was calling me a YouTuber, was assuming I identify as.
Oh my god. You see, I don't identify as a YouTuber. I really don't. I'm more of like a philosopher. I'm more of an artist. I'm a thinker.
A YouTuber. I don't identify as a YouTuber, and I'm not a YouTuber because what do they do? What do YouTubers do? This is the end. This is the.
I mean, technically, technically, Muda's not a YouTuber either. Technically, because he's not doing that as like a full-time job. He just does it as a side hobby. So if we really want to go into like the whataboutisms,
The peak YouTuber. It's sit at your chair, churn out videos that are going to get clicks, get views, get on people's autoplay, insert some advertisements, and just stuff as much content as you can down the tubes, and hope your viewers are ready to consume as much of it as possible. That's the life of a tuber. And that's not what my channel is. That's not what I'm about. That's not what Lightwave is about. So I hope I've made it clear that from the start of his coverage of Lightwave, Ordinary Gamers never set out to make an objective report. He was biased. He was calling it a disaster, and nothing throughout his video really
slander. How dare he slander Lightwave?
Substantiates his.
I'm curious. Why didn't you? I'm curious. Why didn't you make a video response to Nick? Oh, because Nick would have been a lot harder to go at, I bet.
claims that it was a fake festival or that it was a disaster, and he just presents a lot of speculation, frankly. So out of that, an interesting question arises. Why then did he feel the need to make this video?
Oh, oh, we're about to get into the best part of the video. Holy crap, let's go.
There's a lot I could speculate about, but just to give you the raw information, my history of interactions with ordinary gamers was mostly limited to a few messages on Discord and Twitter. And in October of 2021, some tubers got together and met in Anaheim right after COVID and all that. Ordinary Gamers over here, he was throwing a house party. As soon as I show up, it seems like people are drinking. I go to use the restroom, and there's a guy just passed out, sleeping next to the toilet. So,
dude, that sounds like a rager. Bro, what do I have to do to get invited to these some ordinary gamers parties? Yo, Muda, listen, man. I'll bring whatever alcohol the party needs. I just need VIP. So come on, man. I need to go to this animal. What's the name of that 80s like college comedy? Animal Farm? No. That's the Animal House. Yo, Muda, invite me to this. I beg you.
Wasn't kidding. He likes to get sloshed with his boys, and that's how they do it. And I didn't really talk to Mudahar much at the party. I just like maybe a couple sentences. There was no tension, no arguments. So honestly, it really doesn't explain why he would have felt the need to make this hit piece on me. But
are you saying he's not allowed to comment on stuff that's like going on YouTube? Do you have to know someone in order to like make content on them? Because like I don't know Review Tech USA. I don't know Quantum TV. I don't know Boogie to go with like the last thing we covered, like the last stream. Like I don't really know Tommy that well, but these are things that go on the internet, and we see them publicly, right? And you are allowed to comment on them. Sorry, but your live event is a public thing. You publicly broadcasted it. People are allowed to talk about it. People are allowed to make fun of it, say whatever they want about it, obviously within reason. You know, they can't say it's like it's a place where they sacrifice babies. But like still, you get what I'm trying to say. Like this whole, a lot of YouTubers have this whole, you have the audacity to make a video on me. It's like, yeah, all the stuff that I'm talking about that you did was public, or at least publicly revealed. I don't understand why you're surprised that people are talking about it, you know?
Maybe it's because he views me as competition, and I look like a vaguely ethnic, brown guy. Maybe it's because he's Pakistani and I'm Armenian. He saw that I was taking some risks with my channel. He saw that some people were confused, and hey, he took that opportunity to muddy the waters a bit. Yeah, I mean, he probably just saw it as a quick opportunity to stab and twist the knife on someone.
Oh, see, wordplay. Oh, he's using Muda's words against him. Oh, he's so big brain for that.
In a weird spot. So I hope you got something out of it.
Why does it matter? That's what I'm wondering. That's what I've been wondering for the past. Oh God, how long have we been on the subject? More than the video length.
So
thank you, by the way, for making sure your microphone was right near your mouth when you drank whatever shit's in your coffee. Probably, like, you're probably drinking like the dissolved like mushroom powder you use to get high.
Oh, why does all this matter now, 2 years later? Well, I know that some YouTubers make it their whole livelihood to report on the latest drama, the latest story, day in and day.
Hey yo, shout out the boys. Let's go.
Out all these scandals. But if we just forget about them as quickly as they appear, and we learn nothing from all these scandals and stories, then what is the point? Is there a point? Does the truth matter? I believe it does. I believe there is a point to holding people accountable. And, if Mudahar's YouTuber friends aren't going to do it and they don't care. Well, this is my version of accountability. And you know what? It's not just me sitting here talking to the mic. It's me sitting here spitting into the mic.
You're so funny.
Because now it's time to
You're so
burrow,
funny.
twist the knife in.
Y'all might want to dust.
Oh, God. Okay. You know what? Let's go. Let's listen to this. Let's go.
Off your vessies.
Let's go.
This shit's about to get messy.
VidCon, KidCon, walk around feeling like King Kong.
Oh, the humor.
TikTok, you want to bury and twist the knife, but you don't want smoke with Rossman, right?
A day of drinking, a night of getting sloshed. What an awesome night. That was your boy passed out in the bathroom, right?
This fire.
Bro was having a sleepover. Muda didn't get some of his facts right. Muda didn't get some of his facts right. He must have made that video during the hangover.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for this repository of information coming to you live straight from the capital of masturbation, Mudahar's room. Yeah, he's come so far, but he sits upon a throne of lies and advertisements. Some ordinary gamer doesn't get any lamer. Drama chaser, you're a faker. Let's face the truth, your channel is nothing more than a clickbait maker.
Hey, Muda, you noticed you're getting a little older, but those kids from VidCon stay the same age. Wait, kids, watch out. There's this big hairy man named Mudahar. You can't ignore his smell. He's moving through the halls. Just run away, please. You don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke.
He tried to insinuate Muda's a
Mudahar, you don't want the smoke.
What the fuck?
You don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke. You don't want the smoke. Mudahar, you don't want the smoke.
Yo, Cheeto, I found someone who raps worse than you do.
Muda doesn't get his facts right. Muda doesn't get his story right. Muda doesn't know.
Poncho, I found your next collaborator. Let's go.
Holy shit, Muda just wants to talk. Muda doesn't get his facts right. Muda doesn't get his story right. Muda doesn't know his shit. Muda just wants to talk shit.
Someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. That's no good.
I was doing shots with the ball.
Stay away from liquor, kids. Like all drugs, alcohol is dangerous.
I spent so much time thinking about how you wronged me. I built up my name to reclaim some fame, but in the end I became the same ego I wanted to blame. Mudahar, you are the part of me that I hate, but I no longer have room in my heart for hate. So I let it go, move on, find something new to create. Maybe I could learn to love my channel again. Maybe YouTube doesn't have to be this way forever. This channel is an outlet for my personal expression. I am me. YouTube is still worth uploading to. My channel is still worth posting to. My life is worth living.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Okay. Very weird Evangelion reference.
Congratulations. That was good.
Yo, they found White Muda.
Congratulations.
But yeah, that was... Oh my god, that was so lame. That was so lame. Anyway, guys, okay, this is Nerdy John signing out. And guys, I can't wait for this new era of content. I've had a lot of fun doing the live streams again. And don't worry, we're keeping at it. New schedule kinda. No longer Tuesday, Thursday show. It's gonna be Sunday and Tuesday. And I will see you next time. Obviously, all these are gonna be clipped and all that. But this is Nerdy John signing out. Take care, everyone.